What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Endgame. We're here live again to help you win because that's our endgame. It is week 13 almost, and we got several teams that are going to be out of action. This is the final bipocalypse, if you want to call it that. I mean, there are some teams that you really won't even notice or miss that they're on bye, but there are a couple of teams that are pretty important here, like Buffalo and Baltimore. You're going to need some help. We're drop waiver wire video, drop the panic video, start, sit, all of that coming out. But this is where we can give you our take, answer your questions directly. So we're going to help you with, if you got lineup questions already, of course, waiver wire. And there's a big name now that all of a sudden, again, for the second time this year, demands your fab. Yeah, this really caught us off guard, I think everybody. So here's the question, Chris. Zach Moss, if he's chilling on waivers, do you go all in because Jonathan Taylor now is missing, I believe, 2 to 3 weeks at least?
Yeah, well, before I dive into that, I need to let everybody know that today is a special day. It is Pierre's birthday. So everybody in the chat, drop a happy birthday to Pierre. It's his birthday today. And look, he's here on his birthday. He's here to answer questions because that's what it's all about. So wish him a happy birthday in the chat.
No place.
That being said, yeah, you have to drop all your fab on Zach Moss. All of it. It's week 13. They're saying 2 to 3 weeks. He had surgery. He's an IR candidate. I mean, if he goes on IR, that means best case he's back for the championship game, right? Because he's going to miss 13, 14, 15, and 16. 2 to 3 weeks, he's going to miss 13, 14, maybe 15. I mean, yeah, all of it on Zach Moss if he's somehow on your waiver wire. But I'll say he's not even on the waiver wire in my 10-team home league. So chances are he's not. But if somehow he is, all your fab. Whatever you have left, it's going to Zach Moss. He looks like this year's random, out of nowhere, nobody saw coming running back league winner this year. And I'm not even being like, that's not even hyperbole. Like,
oh no. I mean, how good was he statistically the whole first month of the season when JT was out? He was crushing it. I mean, we only finally got around to saying he's droppable because he was getting no touches then. And I guess we should have seen the Jonathan Taylor injury coming. But, the last couple of weeks for the waiver wire, I've been talking about get your handcuffs now. So I mentioned Elijah Mitchell. He's a nothing this year. But if CMC goes down, he's a top 10 running back, just like that.
Yep.
I mentioned Kenneth Gainwell. I mentioned a couple of these guys. Didn't think to re-mention Zach Moss because I figured some people already had him. But also, Jonathan Taylor hasn't even played that many games. This is just, you never know. You never know when this will happen. And at least with Moss, at the very least, we know there's one guy, and we know who the guy is. Like, there's some of these teams, if somebody goes down, it's either a guy you just don't want, like Josh Kelly. We saw how that worked. Or it's going to be some sort of ugly timeshare committee. We know at least it's all Zach Moss. So, yeah, if Zach Moss out there, you can spend it all, especially if you have JT, you almost have to.
Yeah.
If he's not available, then find a nice soft pillow to cry in, something to keep you warm at night. But how much you can do.
Yeah.
At least maybe Taylor will be back for the fantasy championship if you make it.
I mean, that's the best you can hope for here, right? Is that it's only 2 weeks and he's back week 15 and maybe just in time for your fantasy playoffs, or maybe week 16 if you have the bye. But I mean, that's really the best you can hope for, which is, man. I have a couple teams where I took the JT, we drafted pretty late. I took the JT dip. I got him in like the 7th, 8th round of my drafts. I was like, now I'm set. I'm stacked. My team is stacked now. I am just going to roll over the league. And now it's back to the drawing board. Yep.
Well, the other thing you kind of have to worry, not yet, but if Indy, without Jonathan Taylor, loses the next couple, falls out of the race, maybe they don't rush JT back. I will say that looking at the Colts schedule, it's really soft. I mean, they should make the playoffs just by virtue of the schedule, but there's no guarantees here. So
not only that, that division, I feel like is wide open.
Well, that too, but
right. I mean, okay, they're not gonna, past the Jags, but I mean, Texans, Titans, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. It's just, yeah, it just feels like another lost season for JT. 2 in a row. 2 lost seasons in a row for JT.
Yeah, this is brutal. At the very least, even if JT is coming back, Moss for the next 2-3 weeks is going to give you points. It's still worth it. You say, oh, well, he's not going to be, the guy the rest of the season. Don't you still want RB1, possible RB1 production for 2 or 3 games as you're fighting to either make the playoffs, improve in the standings, or win your first round? Yes. So, yep.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We know Zach Moss is getting pretty much every single touch with JT out. This isn't like you said, right. Even if CMC went down, is it going to be like all Elijah Mitchell? I don't even know. Or like if Travis Etienne went down, is it going to be a mix of Dearness Johnson, Tank Bigsby, like we saw with Kyron Williams, where it was some Darrell Henderson, some Royce Freeman. Like, we know Zach Moss is getting every single touch pretty much, right? He's going to get better usage than any running back on the planet, which is what's really frustrating. It's like this guy, Zach Moss, is going to get better usage than maybe everybody but Christian McCaffrey. He's going to get better usage than every running back not named Christian McCaffrey. Like, I'm not saying he's going to be better than every running back not named Christian McCaffrey, but he's going to get better usage. He's going to get every touch, catch passes, goal line work, play every snap. Yeah, it's just very annoying for the people who have JT. Very annoying. But look, if you have Zach Moss, you got to be like, this is like winning the fantasy football lottery right now.
Yeah, no kidding. If you've been stashing him, like our guy Brian, who is waiting for the shout out because he's like, I told you, this is why I have the handcuff to every one of my running backs. Well, there you go. This is why it pays off.
Yeah, well done, Brian.
Well done. Well played. Yeah, we'll continue to recommend, getting the right guys. Now you know who the guys for this week. It's Zach Moss. Just want to thought it'd be a slower waiver wire week. We'll see what happens. Hopefully you bid up and win the bids. We'll get to your questions. See, of course, a lot of Zach Moss questions here. And what do we do with JT and so forth? So before we get to that, I do also want to remind you that this is a good week to sign up for Underdog, because you can use promo code ENDGAME. You get a 100% deposit match up to $100. And you can take advantage of this week's current new customer special, Dak Prescott just getting 1 yard. That's right. If you take Dak Prescott higher than 0.5 total yards, you get that pick, combine it with another pick. And of course, in all our videos, our start sit, and even on the live shows, sometimes we'll tell you some of the picks that we like, which sometimes hit, sometimes don't. It was half a yard away from that Alexander Madison receiving yard. Half a yard. That's how it goes. But oh well. So use promo code ENDGAME, get that deposit match, get that new customer special, and you can play now. Very easy, very fun, and a good chance to win money. All right, so SouthSea is first.
All right.
As he often is. So here's a good question. Look, we talked about spending up fab, but he's asking now, would you drop a guy like Madison or Singletary for Moss, and which one?
Yeah, I think I would drop Singletary for Moss. Pierce is back, and he's likely just going to get more and more touches as the year goes on. Maybe Singletary will remain like the starter, technically the starter here, the same way Najee Harris is technically the starter in Pittsburgh, but him and Warren kind of split. That's probably what's going to happen here. And I talked about this, I think, last week on one of the streams. We're at the point of the season where your starting lineup is significantly more important than your bench now. Like, having somebody on your bench, like, let's just say, like, you're stacked at wide receiver. Like, you have, 4 top 20 wide receivers, and then you have, like, Rashee Rice, Josh Downs. Like, you don't need those guys anymore. I'm not saying, like, drop them. I'm just saying, like, if you have a chance to pick up a guy like Zach Moss, who's going to be your every week RB2 with maybe even an RB1, and you know what I mean? Like, you have to do it, because you're not going to win with those Rashee Rice, Josh Down points on your bench. You're just not. You need to get them. So, yeah, this is the time where you have to, like, you can't worry about, like, oh, what if Singletary whatever. Like he gets the whatever. It's still the Texans. Like you got to get Moss. We know Moss is getting every touch. So I will happily drop Singletary. I mean, you could probably drop Addison for Moss too, but yeah, either one.
Either one. Then that's a good point. Is I'd probably rather drop a bench receiver, or backup tight end or whoever instead of a running back, because you see exactly how valuable running backs are. But if these are the most droppable players, either one is fine. Probably Singletary is the guy. And then asking, is Moss more a priority than Freiermuth? I think he's got to be.
He's got to be. Unless the only way he wouldn't be is if, like, again, you already, like, we have some people on here that come on and they show off their incredible running back room where, like, the worst running back they have is, like, Jahmyr Gibbs. They're like, I have 5 running backs and Jahmyr Gibbs is my worst one, right? Like, maybe there you don't need Moss, right? And maybe you don't have a tight end. Maybe you lost Mark Andrews and you're like, man, I don't have a tight end. Okay, then go Freiermuth. Because, again, Zach Moss, he's never going to score points for your team probably. You need Freiermuth, go for it. But in any other case, most of us could, don't have running backs, that we feel that good about. Yeah, Moss got to be the priority over Freiermuth.
Right. I mean, it always depends on your roster. I mean, if you're starting tight end is, like Michael Mayer, the Raiders, or something like that, okay, maybe you need to upgrade at tight end. But generally speaking, running back just so much more valuable. And then thinking about benching Kupp for Ridley.
I'm doing it. I'm not. Look, if this is the week where Kupp magically is healthy and has a Kupp-like game, oh well, it's going to be on my bench. I mean, how many weeks in a row can you put this guy in your lineup and get 3, 4, 5 points and be like, nah, next week it'll happen. Like next week will be the week. You know what I mean? Like, let me see this guy look healthy, get a huge target share, and look like, okay, it looks like Cooper Kupp again before I put him back in my lineup, especially if you're fighting for your playoff life. You can't put this guy in your lineup and risk 5 points again. I mean, Ridley's been great 2 weeks in a row. So, yeah, I'm just doing Ridley. I'm just going to play Ridley.
Yeah, not knowing for sure whether Ridley will boom or not. I think it's just this is the week you can just bench Kupp, period. Because not only has he not done anything, not only does he seem like he's still hurt with the ankle, but he happens to face, I believe, the best defense in the NFL still, which is the Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
I mean, you can't really think of any more reasons not to bench him. There's almost no reason to really start him other than, he was great last year and he was great for 2 games this year. But yeah, I think you have to. I mean, look, I'm not going to bench him for like Deontay Brown, but I'll bench him for Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, exactly. When you have somebody like Ridley, don't need to risk it with Kupp.
Right. All right. A couple interesting other questions here before we get back to the Moss JT thing. Skibbity, who would you like more rest of the season after this week? They're both on bye. Jefferson or Diggs?
I mean, it's got to be Diggs, right? He's got Josh Allen. Look, this is the thing with Josh Dobbs. I know Josh Dobbs has been a great story this year, and it's like, hey, rooting for Josh Dobbs is easy, right? It's easy to root for a guy like Josh Dobbs. But as we saw last night, this is the what you get with guys like this, right? With guys like Geno Smith. There's a reason these guys haven't been starters in the NFL, and it's not because teams are like, man, that guy is so good, I just don't want to see him on a football field. Like, I don't want him leading my team to victories. It's because, like, they're not good enough in the NFL. They're great, like, compared to everybody else in the world, they're phenomenal. But at the NFL level, they're just not good enough. So you got to give Diggs the edge. He has Josh Allen. He has that offense. It's got to be Diggs over Jefferson.
Yeah, he's clearly got the better Josh at QB.
Yes.
Exactly. And you don't have to worry about the potential for aggravation of the hamstring or any other injury issue. So I think it's got to be Diggs too. And Chris, all in. Would you trade either Kyren Williams, or Derrick Henry for McBride?
I'd have to be like, no. Actually, no. I was going to try to justify it, but no. I mean, at least, look, if you're crazy deep at running back and you have no tight ends, like in one of our end game leagues, I'm probably going to be starting Deontay Johnson this week. Last week I legit started what's his name? Granson from the Colts, and he got 0. Like there is nothing. It's shocking. Like Tanner Hudson wasn't even on the waiver wire for me last week. Like, is everybody holding 3 tight ends in this league? I have no idea what's going on, but because I lost Andrews. So, like, if I was that desperate, sure, maybe I would go Henry for McBride, but I'd also at least want something else back to make me feel like I wasn't getting totally fleeced. Like, okay, give me like a wide receiver on your bench who doesn't do much, so I at least feel better about it. But no way am I trading Kyron for McBride. No way.
Yeah, there's no way. Or Derrick Henry either. No. Can't do it. All right, so Eric Castellanos, what's up? Kyler's bye is coming, not this week, but next. With Dobbs possibly losing, I don't know. I don't think Dobbs is going to get benched. I mean, really, we're looking around. Like, what else do they have? Why did they trade for Josh Dobbs? Because they have Jaron Hall and Nick Mullins or whoever they have. He's not losing.
You know what?
Anyway,
you know what Kevin O'Connell sounded like today? A fantasy football player. Like he's got this guy. Like okay, you have this guy. He goes for like 20. Then he goes for 25. Then he goes for like 30 because, Josh Dobbs, 3 straight games was awesome for him, right? And then he has that 5-point game and you're like, can I start this guy anymore? Do I have to bench him now? Do I have to just bench this guy now? Like, that's what Kevin, it's like, wait, what? He was great for 3 games and he has 1 terrible game and now you're like, I don't know if he's our guy. I don't like what? Come on, man.
Like, why did you trade for him? I mean, they didn't trade a lot, but still, yeah, exactly. I think it's like they feel like they have to say that now, or otherwise it makes the coach look bad. I don't know. Add Minshew or O'Connell for week 14. Well, or do you just stick with Dobbs?
No, like. Dobbs, I don't like because we were looking at this last night with somebody asked us about Dobbs and Trevor Lawrence. Who do the Titans play that week? I mean, it's not going to be Aiden O'Connell. Okay, Aiden O'Connell does play the Vikings, but that's still not enough for me. I don't think. Who do the Colts get that week? Colts get the Bengals. I might just go Minshew. The Bengals doesn't scare me.
At least Minshew will get you something. Yeah. Not because I think Dobbs will lose his job, but I think Minshew's just a little safer floor. All right, Alex B. Also with buys and possibly Olave out. Pick one, full PPR. Deonte, Jaden Reed, or Taysom.
I feel like it should be Deontay Johnson. But will it be Deontay Johnson? I don't know. I don't know. Jaden Reed might be the safest bet. It's not a great matchup, though, but he gets carries out of the backfield. He gets targets. Like it really should be Deontay Johnson. The offense looked halfway decent. It's a good matchup against. It's not a good matchup. It's a fantastic matchup against the Cardinals. You know what? Screw it. I'm going with my gut. Deontay Johnson against the Cardinals gets 10 targets, catches 7 or 8 of them. It's PPR. I'm going Deonte.
Yeah, the answer definitely should be Deontay Johnson. But I'm going to make you
the
wait.
The dogs were like, don't do it, Pierre. Don't you know the answer is
Taysom Hill. Mark once for yes.
Yeah. The dogs were like, no, don't say it.
I'm going to make you wait until the video comes out to find out which guy I like the best. How about that?
We know who it is.
I know you know.
Give you a hint. It's not the 2 wide receivers.
Buenas tardes from Moises Gonzalez. How are we doing? Needs a flex to replace DJ Moore. All right, we got Ford. Another chance to say Deonte, Charbonnet, or McBride. Or you can pick up one of those guys off waivers.
Well, here I'll definitely go Deonte. I mean, you can't feel good about Charbonnet. I mean, like Charbonnet maybe gives you the highest floor because we know he'll get the touches and he'll catch enough passes. He'll probably get you 10-ish. PPR points. It doesn't say PPR. Moises, I should know your league by now. You're on here every week. Appreciate you, but I don't remember because my memory's bad like that. And look, McBride is interesting. I like McBride, but again, he's still just a tight end. Like, just because the tight end's in a good spot doesn't mean the tight end's going to have a big game, right? Not going to be necessarily like the focal point of the offense. So I think I still got to go Deonte. It's the Cardinals. The Steelers' offense looked like an NFL offense last week. Like, I don't think Pat Freiermuth is going to get 11 targets probably ever again this year. I'm going Deonte.
Yeah, in this case, I will go Deonte. Charbonnet's still not having the ceiling there. Ford, I don't know, just got to be down on Ford now. He's not getting enough touches. It's like a 50-50. I don't know why, but it is.
It's like a 50-50 in an offense that wants to throw the ball 40 times with their rookie QB who's not a pocket passing, throwing type QB. Like, I don't understand. Like, you have this, you're 7-3, you have the best defense in the league, you're going against the Broncos. How is your game plan not just run Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt 30 plus times in this game? How do you come out and throw the ball 20 plus times and only run it 8? What kind of game plan is this?
Yeah, I have serious questions about that play calling. I can just imagine if Joe Flacco does wind up being the starter, they're just going to throw it like 70 times. They're just not even going to run the ball. They're just going to go empty backfield every play.
Empty backfield, throw it 70. You're going to play the Panthers and be like, let's just throw it like,
So not Ford. Yeah, I'll go Deonte here. I would go Deonte. All right, we have Elmer Sanchez with a couple of questions. Needs help with the lineup. T-Law or Hal this week?
I like Hal this week, but it's got to be Trevor Lawrence at home against the Jaguars. He's been playing fantastic. There's just you don't have to, like, sure, Sam Howell could have one of those crazy 30-point games where he throws it 55 times and 350 yards and 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions or something, right? But he could also have one of those games that we saw last week where he doesn't throw any touchdowns and kills you. T-Law has a very high floor this week with a good ceiling. I'm going T-Law.
Yeah, I mean, I like Hal as a streamer. I think he definitely has some upside, and I can see him outscoring T-Law, but I think T-Law is just the smarter pick here. It's not, like I said, it's not a terrible matchup. It looks like they've kind of figured some things out. I think that's what's encouraging to me, as opposed to just the defensive matchup itself. As the last 2 games, he has looked better. The passing game has looked better. He's just probably the smarter play. Start 2, Kyren, Pollard, Bijan, Moss. I mean, I'm not putting Moss over those guys.
Yeah, I can't put Moss over those guys. Although it wouldn't surprise me if Moss. Remember the last time they played the Titans when JT was out? He had like 150 yards and 2 touchdowns against them. Like, wouldn't surprise me if Moss has a Kyren week, right? Like, oh, Moss is the highest scoring running back. We should have told everybody to start Moss over every single player. Yeah.
Like Kyren.
But I think you got to go Kyren and Bijan. I think that's the right plays here.
Yeah, and look, Kyren gets that same matchup against the Cleveland Browns, tough defense, but I don't think it matters. I think you have to start Kyren, you have to start Bijan. In this case, you can't prioritize matchup over opportunity, which is pretty much kind of equal for all these guys. These are all, for the most part, workhorse backs, but you can't put let's just face it, a not as talented player like Moss over Bijan. You just can't do it. So what about Olave, DK, Curtis Samuel, and just going to say no to Higgins even if he does play. So look, if Olave doesn't play and Higgins doesn't play, you only have 2 left.
Yeah, even if Higgins plays, I'm not playing him. So it's either Olave and DK, but then if Olave's out, it's DK and Samuel.
Right. And it has to be Kelsey over McBride still. Don't you think?
Yeah, but here we go. He's got a flex.
So you flex.
So I might flex Moss. You know what? I'm flexing Moss.
All right, there you go.
Because I don't love those wide receivers. Like, even if Olave plays, I'm not flexing Samuel or Higgins.
Nah.
I don't really want to flex a tight end if I don't have to. You got Moss. I'm flexing Moss Put Moss in the flex.
Yeah, I'm totally good with that. And what do you think about this? Somebody offered him Hollywood and Warren for Pollard.
Yeah, I think you need Hollywood. You need Hollywood. I mean, you got Kyron Bijan Moss. You're fairly set at running back. I mean, you need Hollywood. You can't roll. You want to roll in the fantasy playoffs with DK Metcalf, T. Higgins, and Curtis Samuel as your only other wide receivers behind Olave. That's rough. And look, Warren has been good enough. Like, he's more than startable. So yeah, take the Hollywood Warren side. You need it.
Yeah,
your team needs it.
I think you could use the receiver depth too, like you're saying. Unfortunate that Hollywood then does have his bye next week, but it is what it is. I mean, you still get him for the playoffs.
Yep.
Like Warren, honestly, is at this point is just as good as Pollard. He's scoring just as many fantasy points. And then just giving a shout out. All right, appreciate you. Just
keep it going. We're not at the finish line yet. Not at the finish line yet.
That's keep right. Going. The work is not done until it's over. And we got Anthony Giangregorio. What's up, Anthony? See him on Saturdays. Let's set that lineup. All right, so we got wide receivers Rice, Ridley, Waddle, Chase, running back Kyron Swift, ETN, and yeah, good with Purdy, Logan, Thomas. I guess if that's the best you got. That's the best you got.
I mean, I'd rather play Logan Thomas than Juwan Johnson.
Oh, wait, and he also happens to have Tank though. How can you forget Tank?
Okay. Well, I think you got to start Waddle at wide receiver. Tank or Ridley or Tank. Man. I think I got to go Tank. It's close, but it's not really a good matchup for the Jaguars wide receivers. Bengals pretty tough against wide receivers. The reason I like Tank this week, and I know it's the Broncos, and they do have a good secondary, but my guess is Surtain's going to spend more time on Nico Collins. Nico, more the traditional X receiver here. He's probably going to see a lot of Surtain. That should open things up more for Tank. They're at home, so I think I'm going to go Tank and Waddle at wide receiver. At running back, I got to go Kyron and Etienne. I know Etienne has kind of let down the last 3 or 4 games, but he got 20 carries, 4 catches. It's the Bengals. They're terrible against the run. So I'm going Kyron and Etienne. And then I guess if you need a flex, I'll go Ridley, assuming PPR. Otherwise, Swift if it's non-PPR.
Yeah, depends how many you need here. Yeah, I feel good about Tank. Exactly like you said. Surtain is great, but he's going to get Nico on the outside there. For the most part, in the shadow report that comes out, there's not that many corners who truly shadow anymore, but there's still a few, and it depends, varying degrees week to week. Surtain was up there. He's one of the top in terms of last week covering one guy, and this week it's probably going to be almost certainly going to be Nico, don't you think? I think it's got to be.
Yes.
So yeah. I think I like Tank Dell quite a bit. I love Waddle this week. Yeah, the flex is tough though. It's like, do we consider Chase? Do we just go Ridley? Do you go running back there with Swift? I mean, I don't like having Swift on my bench, but I think the matchup, I guess, is the only kind of tipping point there. So, yeah, I think you got to go Kyron, Etienne. Yeah, I guess Ridley.
I mean, Swift is okay too.
All right, what about Kevin? Already picked up Moss in 2 leagues. Very nice. Starting in both. That's right. You had those guys injured. All right. Well, that's
there you go.
Smart that you already got.
You will not miss Aaron Jones and Kenneth Walker this week.
Yeah. All right. Graham McLaren, 18. Flex 2. Metcalf, Connor, Hall, Goddard, Flowers, and Adams are on bye. Goddard may play, may not. I don't think I could.
I don't even care. It's the 49ers. Fred Warner, no thank. Coming back from a fractured forearm or whatever, even if he plays, no thank you. Metcalf on the road against the Cowboys, no, that's a no thank you too. Connor's not bad this week. I mean, they get the Steelers. Steelers aren't a great run defense. The problem for Connor's been that the Cardinals have been way more pass heavy than they were with Josh Dobbs for obvious reasons. But he still will get carries. It's not a bad matchup. He could score. And then I guess you got to go. It's PPR. I guess you got to go Breece Hall, at least if nothing else. He gives you a floor in PPR, right? Like he catches 7 dump offs for, 8.5 yards or whatever it is. But hey, that's 7 free points. That's 7 free fantasy points. So take them.
Maybe this is the week he rips off another big touchdown run. You never know. Yeah. It's really more just that you can't start the other two. Go Connor and Hall. I think it'll be fine. At least both those guys do catch passes. Hey, revenge game for Connor.
That's
Joe Castle's in the house. Brian Robinson, Warren, Nixon, and Moss. Okay, probably Mixon. Brian Robinson, Jalen Warren, Joe Mixon, Zach Moss. Okay, so who doesn't start?
Mixon's out. Mixon's out. Look, we've had some brutal injuries this year where like we can't view Garrett Wilson. We can't look at the name Garrett Wilson and think about the same Garrett Wilson. We can't look at the name Jamar Chase and think about the same Jamar Chase. We can't look at Cooper Kupp and think about the same Cooper Kupp. Well, we can't look at Joe Mixon and think the same Joe Mixon. Not that Joe Mixon was anything special, but awful last week. And that was against the Steelers. Now the Jaguars, one of the best run defenses, a good defense. They're just a good defense on the road in Jacksonville. Like, I mean, it's like he has to score to give you a floor this week. He's the guy I'm benching. Mixon is the guy I'm benching.
Yeah, I actually like Warren a lot again this week. I liked him last week, and then all of a sudden Najee reemerged, but I still like him. I think Brian Robinson will be fine, and Moss we already talked about, so definitely agree. Mixon is out. Dan Fuller's got an interesting JT-related question here. He's saying, the JT owner, I got offered Moss, DK, and Higbee for Laporta because he's got JT. So he would get Moss, and Higbee would be the replacement with DK.
I mean, I don't want to go from Laporta to Higbee, but is there anybody else on the waiver wire you could grab? Like, how somebody actually played Tyler? Somebody actually streamed Tyler Higbee? Good, well done by them if they streamed Tyler Higbee last week. Well done. But I think you got to get Moss, right? If you're the JT owner, you got to get Moss. What if JT misses a season? Are you winning? Like, is Laporta carrying you to a championship if you don't have Jonathan Taylor? No, probably not. Like, unless you're stacked at running back. I mean, look, if you're stacked at running back, maybe you're like, hey, I'm good. I got Kyron Williams on my bench. I don't know. Maybe you have David Montgomery on your bench. Maybe you have good running backs in your bench where it's like, hey, I'm okay. I can get by with these guys and I don't want to give up Laporta. But if you're going to now be starting Jerome Ford as your RB2 or I don't know who else.
Like Javonte Williams.
Yeah, exactly. Then I think you got to get Moss. I think you got to take Moss if that's the case.
Yeah, I almost want to say just tell him I'll do it for Moss and DK and don't bother with Higbee and you can just pick up a better tight end. But if there's nobody better, then I guess just go with Higbee. Just don't expect more touchdowns. At least you're getting something else. They're not just like, hey, give me your stud tight end for Zach Moss. You're getting a startable receiver and a tight end. So I think it's reasonable. I don't know what else to say about Tyler Higbee.
That was pretty good.
Abumanyu Singh is 8-4. Very nice. 10 team. Okay, so Pitts, Goddard, or Juwan Johnson?
I mean, I think in this case, if Goddard somehow plays, I'll play Goddard. I'll still play Goddard over Pitts or Juwan Johnson. But if not, I'm probably going Juwan Johnson. Look, Juwan Johnson's kind of interesting this week. He had 4 catches for 40 yards last week. Chris Olave, if he's out again, Michael Thomas is out. Rashid Shaheed's probably going to be out. I mean, they have to throw to somebody, right? They can't. They're not just going to run it 40 times. So I'll say if Goddard plays, I'm putting him over these guys. But if not, I'm going to go Juwan Johnson over Kyle Pitts. Which, how sad is it? We're in November in the year 2023, and we're playing Juwan Johnson over Kyle Pitts.
But you have to. Honestly, Pitts is just not even startable. Even with Arthur Smith actually doing reasonable things with his rosters, Kyle Pitts still didn't do much of anything. And no. So, look, I don't mind. I actually liked Juwan Johnson before the season. He didn't do anything. And then he got hurt. But yeah, I think he'll get a fair amount of targets. So I might just roll with Juwan Johnson. And then Rice, Hollywood, Garrett Wilson, or Josh Palmer.
We're only picking one of these?
I guess so. It's just funny that you look at all these receivers. One of them gets Pat Mahomes as a quarterback. One of them is Kyler Murray. One of them is Justin Herbert. And then there's Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I would say Palmer and Garrett Wilson aren't even considerations for me. It's between Rice and Brown, and it's pretty close. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know where you're going here.
So I just tease again. Wait, what day does it come out? Thursday? It's Thursday, right?
Thursday morning.
Wait till Thursday for my answer. No, I won't make you wait. Abamanu, you're always loyal.
I'll give you a hint. It's not one of the last two.
It's not the last.
I don't know. I mean, like, Hollywood did get targets. Like, he actually, I thought, with the heel, not practicing all week, you got to avoid him, and he was actually pretty good. Rashee Rice, you never know what you're going to get. I don't know. I know you're going to say Hollywood, so I guess I'll just say Hollywood so we don't, so he doesn't still have the decision. But this is close for me.
Yeah, I mean, Rice should be solid too. I kind of like Hollywood this week. I'm going in on him, so I'll go Hollywood, and Juwan Johnson is the tight end there. All right, Ramu Chalasani. Welcome back, Ramu. Needs quarterback out of Baker, Love, Russ, Stafford.
I'm going Baker. I know Love is hard to bench. He's been good. And maybe he'll be good again. And then I'll just have to be all in on Jordan Love. But it's the Chiefs. They're a very good defense and a very, very good secondary. Very good pass defense. They get pressure. I don't know. I'm not feeling Jordan Love this week. Baker Mayfield at home, revenge game against the Panthers. How many games did he play for the Panthers? Like 5?
Yeah, like not even half a season. Still,
I'm going Baker, but Love is a good option too. Actually, I kind of like Russ this week too. Stafford's the one where I'm like, no chance am I playing Stafford this week.
No way, not against that defense. Yeah, those are probably the top 3 streaming options if Hal's not out there. I still don't feel like Russ is above these guys just because the ceiling isn't quite there. I mean, he would have to continue running and hopefully run for a touchdown. I think I would still go Love over Russ. It's Baker is probably the one who makes the most sense, though. I don't know. Do we think this Panthers team is going to come out fired up with a new coach?
I mean, okay, sure, you can come out fired up, but you still need talent. It's like, you know what I mean? Like you could put me on the football field and say, Chris, if you gain 5 yards on a handoff up the middle, up the gut against a real NFL defense that's trying to stop you, you get $100 million. I'm going to be fired up, but I'm also going to have a broken leg and get stopped for like a 3-yard loss. Like, you know what I mean? You still got to have the talent. You still got to have the talent.
It's a good point. I would hope they at least have NFL level talent there. I think they do, but it's not a good team. I know. I think Baker's fine. Go Baker. If there's anybody who could turn it into an actual revenge game motive, it would be Baker Mayfield, wouldn't it? I could see him totally playing that up. Oh, I'm sorry. I think there was another one.
Yeah, I think there was.
Totally moved on here. All right, Ramu. Flex from P. Ryan, Watson, Samuel, Freiermuth.
I know Freiermuth is coming off the huge game, but I am not ready to flex Pat Freiermuth this week. It's either Watson or Curtis Samuel, and I think it comes down. I mean, they're both risky, but I feel like Samuel at least has a decent floor this week. Like, he gets targets, he gets involvement, and the wide receiver video comes out tomorrow. I think you talk about it, right? They have Jalen Ramsey, they have Xavier Howard. They give up a lot to the slot. They give up a lot to slot receivers because of that. So, I could see Samuel having a pretty nice game. Watson's the guy if you want to shoot for the home run.
Yeah, I look on paper, Samuel makes the most sense. But then you have to realize Eric Bieniemy is calling the plays, which means
That too.
that whatever makes the most sense probably won't happen. So I almost feel like Watson is less risky now with the target share he's getting. So Samuel is the logical play, but Watson is kind of the gut call I would make just to shoot for the upside. So it's one of those two guys though. And then in another league, he needs to flex between Rice or Freiermuth. I'm guessing it's Rice.
Yeah, I'm just very hard for me to flex a tight end. Go with Rice.
Yeah, I agree. Rice is solid enough. You don't have to flex Muth. All right, Mellow, standard, 12 team. Purdy, Swift, Bijan, Tyreek, Dell, and Joku Moss. On the bench is Kyler, Chase, Ridley, Cooks, and Ford. Would you change anything up?
Purdy, Swift, Bijan,
Purdy over Kyler.
Dell, and Joku Moss.
It is, yeah. I was going to say it's standard, so I guess Moss and the flex makes sense.
Yeah, Moss at the flex, definitely. I'm just debating, like, nah, I can't. I think I'm still going Tank Dell, even the standard. He has touchdown upside. He has big play upside. Yeah, I think I'll leave it how you have it.
Only real question for me is Purdy and Kyler. Because obviously Kyler runs and Purdy doesn't. But you kind of like Purdy in this matchup. Think he could put up big numbers. I think, right? Don't you like Purdy?
Yeah, I like Purdy this week. I think it's a good. I like Kyler too. So I'm really that is a close one for me. You're right. That's a close one for me. I probably lean slightly Purdy, but I'm okay with Kyler too.
Yeah, it's a road game, Pittsburgh. Yeah, I got probably okay with Purdy. So, Mello, I think you're good. Frank Fan. Is Singletary at the flex better than Downs or Deonte? And thank you.
No, not for me. Not for me. I like Downs a lot this week, honestly. I know I said that last week and he didn't come through, but he should have. 13 targets. Now they get the Titans. I think I'm going Downs. Unless it's, but even like, okay, even in non-PPR, Singletary had what? How many rushing yards did he have last week? Nothing. It was all receiving.
Like 14 or something.
Yeah, it was all receiving. So I think I'm going Downs. I'm probably going Downs even over Deonte just because at least Josh Downs is going to get a ton of targets. We don't know if Deonte will. So I'm probably going Josh Downs here.
Yeah, I hate to double down on the boom. Like he didn't go off last week. He could have, and he was close to scoring, but I like Downs again. He's getting targets. It's a good matchup. So I would also go Downs. Sir Boomer wants to know if he can dump Pitts for Freiermuth.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, do the first thing, not the second thing. If Walker doesn't play, yeah, Walker's not playing.
Yeah.
Sharps over Sutton or over Connor? I don't think so.
No and no. It's another bad matchup for Charbonnet on the road. They're probably going to get blown out again. Your hope for Charbonnet is that he catches a bunch of passes and somehow falls into the end zone. That's what Sutton does every week. That's what Sutton's been doing, right? Catch a bunch of passes, fall into the end zone. That's what Sutton's been doing every week. And Connor can do that too. So, yeah, no.
Yeah, Sutton is still solid. Connor's, yeah. Just don't see a big game for Sharp this week. Again, Frank Fusco wants to know if these are your choices. Singletary, Chuba, or Sharps.
Well, here I will go Singletary. He gets the Broncos this week.
Yeah.
Contrary to what happened last week, this is still not a very good run defense. I mean, let's not forget the week before against the Vikings, Madison and Ty Chandler had like 80 yards against this defense each. Okay, maybe they're not as bad as when they play the Dolphins, but they're still pretty bad as far as a run defense goes. I'm not falling for Chuba after last week. I don't even know where that came from. What was that? Where did that was one of the most surprising performances of the week. Was what? Chuba what? Anyway, I've talked about Charbonnet, not feeling him. So I'm going to go Singletary.
Yeah, at least, Singletary is getting the majority of the touches. Charbonnet is too, but on the road against Dallas, nah. I'll go Singletary. All right, what about Rob? He's 7-5 in a 14-teamer. Needs 2-2-2. My receivers are Pittman, Adams, who is on bye, Nico, Hollywood, Downs, Addison, who's also on bye. Would you drop Addison or Downs for Moss in a 14-teamer?
Yeah, you have to. I'm saying you have to. Like, are you ever going to play Addison? At this point, what's the path for Addison? I mean, this is another guy where you can't look at the name Jordan Addison. Look, I know.
Yeah.
I talked about Jordan Addison so much. I was getting tired of talking about Jordan Addison. And then he came out and looked like he was going to be a league winner. And then Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles, and that was that. I mean, are you ever going to start Jordan Addison over these guys? No, you're not. Drop him for Moss. Drop Addison for Moss.
Yeah. I mean, he's wide receiver 6, so you shouldn't have to start him at all. Anyways, and like I said, he doesn't play this week. He's on bye. And then Justin Jefferson comes back, and oh wait, Josh Dobbs is still the quarterback. So yeah. I mean, you hate to just drop a guy like that in a 14-teamer, but to get Moss, definitely, especially if you're weak.
I can't. How is Moss available in a 14-team league in a 14-teamer? He's not even available in my 10-team home league.
That's because everyone in your home league watches this channel, probably.
No, I think what happened is everybody in my home league picked up Moss way back in the day, and then just they don't make any waiver moves.
They just didn't pay attention. They didn't realize that he's not the starter anymore.
Yeah, they just don't make waiver moves, so they've just been sitting on his bench this whole time doing nothing. It's like, oh god! And of course, that's one of the leagues I have JT where I'm like, yeah, I could have really used Moss.
That's always the way, isn't it? Where you don't need a running back, you're like, oh, he's out there, and then the ones where you really need him, then no, he's gone. Yeah. All right, Mary Jo in her 8-team league, Hal, Bijan, Rashad, Sun God, Debo, and Njoku. Kirk on the bench is Olave, Swift, B-Rob, McBride. Interesting. I don't know. I know you still like Njoku this week. I like Njoku overall.
I'm not starting him over McBride. No, I'm not starting him over McBride. All right. I still like Njoku, but I mean, as we've seen, he doesn't have a ceiling. He has a very high floor in your PPR leagues for a tight end, but he doesn't have a ceiling. Like, what is he going to catch a touchdown? I mean, I guess he almost caught one last week. He should have caught one. But I mean, you can't bank on that. So, no, I'm going McBride over Njoku for sure. McBride has a great matchup against the Rams. He also has a very high floor, and he actually has a ceiling. So I'm going McBride over Njoku for sure. Bijan, Rashad White, Sun God, Debo, Njoku, Kirk. The only thing I'll say is, probably not. If Olave plays, I'll flex him over Kirk.
Yeah.
This is another one that just stings so bad. Like, Olave was finally looking like that guy. Now we're not going to have him this week. At least should only be a week. That's the good news.
And who knows? Some of these guys clear in 1 week. Some of them it takes 2. We'll see. All right.
True.
Well, good luck as always, Mary Jo. Arvin, thank you again. Who should I start? 2 running backs in the flex. Sharp, Connor, Achane, Ford, or Warren.
I think Warren, you got to play out of these guys. Crazy enough. It's another good matchup for him. He should be good. Connor, Achane, Connor. I mean, Connor is safer because he's healthy. But man, if Achane plays against the Commanders, I don't think I can bench him. I know we burned this last time, but man, it's the Commanders. Like, he could get 1 carry for a 60-yard touchdown. Like, and they could just bench him after that. We go, all right, cool, that was your 1 touch, but it was a 60-yard touchdown, so it's all good. You know what I mean? It's a Commander.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's too risky. Achane is too risky for my blood.
Yeah, so you're going to go Warren and Connor, right?
Yep.
Which I think is fine. But if it's me, I'd risk it on Achane. But if you want to go Warren Connor, I'm okay with that too.
Well, actually, now that I look at it, it says 2 running backs and a flex. I guess we're flexing running backs. So the difference.
Then I'm going Connor Achane. If Achane is out, I guess I'll go Charbonnet because at least he has a floor. I don't know what we're gonna get with 4 these days.
So I'm okay. In this case, if you need 3 of these guys, I'm okay going Achane over Ford or Sharps. So Warren, Connor, Achane. If Achane doesn't play, you go Sharps. All right, there you go. See, everybody's happy. Mary Jo also wants to know, would you drop Kirk for Reed now?
No way.
All right. Now, you know what? I'm on board with this. You called your shot. I'm calling it too. Juice 420. He's a truther. He's a Taysom Hill guy. I'm with you this week.
There's a path. There's a path.
All right. Now, come on. This, look, I actually take it back. What I just said, all these nice things. Now I'm
Oh, man. Come on.
That's just low. All right.
So low.
I'm only 58. No, I'm not. Trent Thompson. Full PPR, 2 receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. Lockett, Godwin, Puka, Swift, Mixon, Singletary, Monty, Stevenson.
Oh, these wide receivers. All right, let's go running back first. I'm going Monty and Stevenson. I'm just telling you right now, I'm flexing Swift.
Yeah.
And then I'm reluctantly playing Puka and Lockett, I guess, for potential upside at wide receiver.
It's like you don't have bad receivers. They're just in very bad spots this week, and they've been kind of underwhelming lately.
I will say in Trent's defense, he did say he has Diggs and Jefferson on bye. So his receivers will be much better next week.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, look, your team is good. But this week, I don't know, man. I mean, I know you're like completely out on Kupp. I don't know that I'm any higher on Puka against Cleveland. Like, I guess if Kupp doesn't play, like, okay, then I go Puka. If not, I might just go Lockett and Godwin. Lockett's kind of the one I feel the best about, which is weird. But yeah, I'm definitely going Swift, Monty, Stevenson. So that's for sure.
Even those running backs this week.
And then Michael Cazares, non-PPR. Need 3. White, Moss, Henry, Swift, Monty, and
This is what I'm talking about. This is like one of those teams where if you're like, hey, my tight end right now is like I picked up Tanner Hudson because I lost Mark Andrews, or I picked up Isaiah Likely because I lost Mark Andrews. And then you're looking at Moss or Freiermuth on the waiver wire. This might be a team where I say, get Freiermuth. Get Freiermuth. You don't need Zach Moss. Get Freiermuth. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But this team already has Zach Moss. So, hey, the rich get richer. The rich get richer.
Well, you know what? If your trade deadline isn't over, trade one of these guys for Laporta or whoever.
Anyways. Whatever. Man. In non-PPR? Jeez. You're going to leave some points on your bench, no doubt about it. I think I still got to go White in non-PPR. 100 yards rushing last week. Now he gets the Panthers. He's going to get every touch. They're at home. I think I still got to go White. I probably still have to go Henry because they get another fantastic matchup against the Colts at home. And then it's between Moss, Swift, and Monty. This is where it gets really tough. I might go Moss. Just because I know he's getting every single touch. He's going to get them all. I like Monty this week. I still like Swift this week. But, man, Moss is going to get literally every touch.
And if it matters, the matchup, I mean, Titans, you look, well, tough run defense, but he did not care. Beginning of the season, he shredded them. Didn't he have almost like 200 scrimmage yards or something? I don't know.
Yeah, he destroyed them.
A couple of things. I agree with your picks. I'm going to pick the same guys. But just want to say in this group, I can just very quickly just ignore Achane because there's no need to risk it. And some people say, well, Rashad White, pass catching back, whatever. It's the Panthers. The Panthers give up not just the most, but by far the most rushing touchdowns to running backs. 16 touchdowns just to running backs. And they're, 1 in 10, I think? So there you go. Do the math. 1.5 per game. And nobody's getting the ball near the goal line except for Rashad White. So even in standard, you got to like White. I like Henry again this week. It's hard for me to not play Monty, but Monty... it's not in a good matchup. Did you say White? Moss and Monty?
No, I said White, Moss, and Henry.
Moss and Henry, so you're sitting Monty. Interesting.
Well, the only reason why is because, again, Henry has another good
Let's get
matchup this week against the Colts. You always have the risk with Monty that Jahmyr Gibbs gets the touchdown, right? And not Monty. Like you said, the only one who's taking touchdowns from Rachaad White is Mike Evans if they decide to throw the ball near the goal line. The only one taking touchdowns from Zach Moss is if Gardner Minshew happens to do his random little sneak for a touchdown, which he rarely does. Nobody's taking touchdowns from Henry. They get near the goal line, it's all Henry. So I think in non-PPR, I got to favor those guys, even though I do like Monty this week. And I like Swift this week too, but I got to favor those guys.
Yeah, I was going to quickly agree with you. And I was like, wow, can we really bench Monty in standard? But yeah, I do like White. Definitely Henry, Mr. Moss. So there you go. Brendan Haybear.
All right, JT out. Lots of buys. 10-team PPR. Achane or Walker in the flex if they play. I definitely don't think Walker's playing. Maybe Achane. Like Ford or a deepish wide receiver. I mean, if Achane plays or Walker somehow plays, I'll play those guys over Ford or a deepish wide receiver. I mean, but I don't know. I think we see Ford this week. It sounded like there was a possibility last week, and they were just being careful with him. I don't think we see Walker, so I would probably go Achane over Ford, or I don't know who you mean by a deepish wide receiver, but I mean, if we're talking like, Josh Palmer, I don't know, Jalen Hyatt, guys like that, I'll play Ford. I mean, I'll play Achane. Are they still barking?
I'm gonna try to talk over the bark.
What is going on there? You have an intruder or something? You getting birthday gift? Are people delivering like birthday? You getting like a birthday gram, like a singing clown with balloons at the door, or what?
that would be great. I would.
Maybe it's Dan Marino. Dan Marino, your birthday gram.
Yes, the Dan Marino look like that would be scary. I don't think Walker's playing, so I don't think this matters. I think the chance. What's the chance Walker plays this week? Like 10%.
Less than 5% probably.
Yeah. So in that case, I'll just say if Achane plays, play Achane. If not, go with a deepish wide receiver. All right, Steven, 9-3. Commissioner is a goof. All right. No playoff buys. That's not necessary. The playoffs start week 14. I mean, that's weird just because there's still teams who have buys week 14.
Yeah, this is one of those leagues where it's like, I don't want to miss the playoffs, so I'm just going to make everybody make the playoffs. That way I'm guaranteed to make my fantasy playoffs.
Yeah. Do I drop a bench player like Keaton or Madison for a streaming quarterback? Because you have Lamar. I mean, you need a quarterback, I guess.
Yeah, but like if you're 9-3 and there's no playoff buys and you're locked, I assume you're locked in the playoffs because this is the last week before the playoffs. You're 9-3. I have to assume you're locked in unless you have some crazy league, but that wouldn't even be possible probably mathematically. Just roll that a QB and take the L. Okay, you're 9-4. Okay, whatever. There's no buys. You're not playing for the bye week. It's like, you know what I mean? Because you don't want look. Madison is still, I guess, the starting running back there. I don't know, maybe. Keaton Mitchell's starting to come on. Now they're going into the bye week. Maybe he gets a bump coming out of the bye. Maybe he doesn't, but maybe he does. You don't want to drop him. So, yeah. I wouldn't even bother. I would just go without a quarterback this week and be like, hey, you made the rules. This is what I have to do because of your rules.
Yeah. No, I mean, they can't say anything just because you don't start a quarterback. I mean, I guess it depends. If Madison's like your 6th running back, it probably doesn't matter, but it also, I guess, doesn't matter if you win in week 13. So that's fine. I think I'm fine with you just going that way. All right, Marcos Cardozo, half PPR, need 2. 2 and 1. Ramondre, B-Rob, Charbonnet, Ayuk, Olave, Chase.
Well, it's the first two running backs. It's the first two wide receivers if Olave plays. If he doesn't, obviously it's Ayuk and Chase. And if Olave doesn't play, then I guess you're flexing Charbonnet. But if Olave plays, I'll still flex Chase over Charbonnet.
Right. Yeah. All things considered, if everything remains how it is, if Olave plays, Charbonnet sits. If not, no choice.
Yep. Yes.
All right. Let's keep going to catch up to the super chats. We'll try to get to some of the other chats too, guys, but we want to make sure we get everyone their due time. Anything with an interesting question? I guess it depends. He's asking, do you stash Kincaid or just drop? I mean, I guess you could drop him for Moss. You could drop him if you really need a tight end, but I wouldn't. I mean, I don't think I'm going to drop him.
Yeah, I'm not dropping Kincaid. No way. No way.
Okay, well, here's a follow-up. He's asking if I can get Zach Moss.
Well, I mean, if these are your choices, like there's nobody. This is it. This is it. Who are your wide receivers? Ridley, Dell, Chase, Waddle. I mean, is Kincaid your only? If Kincaid's your only tight end, you can't drop him.
Well, yeah, you need a tight end for this week, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm going to say, like, I don't want to drop Rice, but, like, you have Ridley, Dell, Chase, Waddle. I mean, I don't know. Like, this is it? You don't have anybody else?
It seems like a really shallow roster. I mean, in this case, I guess I would say no.
Yeah.
We can talk more about it maybe in the flock chat. Matthew Rice just traded Puka and 2 first-round picks for Josh Jacobs and the number 1 overall pick. Spicy trade. You like it?
I mean, are your first-round picks the 11th and 12th pick?
I mean, it says late firsts, but he says most likely late first, which makes it sound like it's definitely not 11th and 12th.
Yeah, okay, but even if it's like 9th and 11th or 8th and 10th or something, I mean, I know having the first overall pick is nice, but I mean, you gotta prefer Puka to Josh Jacobs, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, if it was like a Jahmyr Gibbs or somebody younger with less tread, Dynasty, you got to realize Jacobs doesn't have as long of a shelf life here.
right.
So 2 first-round picks and Puka. I mean, I get that it's the first overall pick, but it seems a bit much.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yep.
All right. Trent Thompson. I don't know. We rewind. Trent Thompson. We did this, but he added that he forgot that he has Rashad White.
Okay. So I'm probably going White. Who did we say here? 2 running backs. So we said Swift, Monty, Stevenson, right? I'm going White over Swift. Am I going Swift over Monty? Probably not. Monty, Saints, Eagles, Bills. It's not a bad matchup for Swift. I think I have to play Stevenson and White this week. Swift and Monty is where it gets close for me. I don't know. I might go Swift. It's a better matchup for Swift. The Bills' run defense is... Or no, they're playing the 49ers this week. That's right. That was last week was Bills.
Yeah.
All right, maybe Monty. Maybe Monty. Stevenson, White, Monty. Monty and Swift are really close, though.
Yeah. In this case, I think White does make the cut. So glad you mentioned him. You're still going to flex a running back. So Stevenson. Yeah, I like Stevenson this week. Yeah, so Stevenson, White, and then probably go Swift in PPR. It's close. Close between. They're both solid, but not in great spots. What about 314? Skip to my Lou. Pick 3 in full: Moss, Monty, Henry, Mostert, Pollard, or Javonte. And then we'll do a tight end question.
Man.
Pick 3.
Oh, man. I mean,
it's tough again. Monty this week is just tough because he's on the road against New Orleans, a tough run defense.
I know you got to feel pretty good about Mostert against the Commanders.
Yeah.
And you got to feel good about Henry against the Colts. You can feel okay about Pollard against the Seahawks, and you can feel okay about Monty. I don't know. Maybe I'm irrationally high on Moss this week.
But it's rational because look at what he did the first month of the season.
And that's the thing. It's like we know he's getting every touch, pretty much. So I think I'm going Mostert, Henry, and Moss.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing too. Pollard's matchup is fine, but not great. And he hasn't been good unless it's been the easiest matchup in the world, like Carolina and Washington. And even then, he wasn't amazing. So I'm okay sitting Pollard here. Monty's the one where it's like I'm usually going to start him, but I'm fine with Moss over Monty this week. So yeah, I'll go Moss, Henry, Mostert too. And then if Goddard doesn't play, Everett, Higbee, or Odd.
Who the Chargers play this week?
Patriots. Rams get Cleveland. I'm gonna just
brutal.
Pass on Higbee.
Aren't they the toughest against tight ends? They're just tough. They're just a tough defense. Maybe Otten. He gets involved. It's the Panthers. I guess Otten.
Yeah. Yeah. Everett and Higbee both get 2 of the toughest matchups against tight end. And they're not guys who I like all of these guys need a touchdown. Let's just be honest. Right. All these guys, it's a touchdown or nothing. I'm not assuming Higbee gets a touchdown again. He got that out of his system last week. And then Everett did score a touchdown last week, but terrible matchup. Otten, I guess he's due. I don't know. Go Otten.
Let's hope.
That's my rationale these days. Like, yeah, he's due. Doug Fenton, have Ingram and Taysom Hill. Would you drop Hill for the move?
I mean, I think you have to, right? Even if Taysom Hill is better this week, do we really feel better about Taysom Hill rest of the season than Freiermuth? Pick up Freiermuth.
No, I go Freiermuth. Yeah. And then Chief Perp, Stroud or Lamar rest of season.
Didn't Chief Perp, did you ask this last week? Or maybe yesterday? I don't know. They all blend together. I'm still going Lamar. It's not a terrible rest of season schedule for Stroud, but I think he plays the Jets on the road, doesn't he? Remember we looking at this?
Yeah,
he plays the Jets on the road, plays the Browns in week 16. He does get the Titans twice, so that's nice, but I mean, it's not a great rest of season schedule for Stroud. So I mean, even if it was, I still got to go Lamar over Stroud. I'm not ready to put Stroud over Lamar.
Yeah, agreed. Gonna go Lamar. It's close. I mean, they're both good. So if you have them both, I mean, I don't know why you would have to just pick one, but I like Lamar too. And then another rest of the season question: what about Freiermuth or Kincaid?
I still got to go Kincaid. I'm not all the way in on Freiermuth after this one huge game. Kincaid's more of a focal point of the offense in a better offense. I'm going Kincaid still.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I obviously feel better about Freiermuth. Kincaid doesn't have too bad a schedule. I just feel like they're going to keep involving him enough where he's going to be startable. Muth is still going to be startable, but that offense is just a little more inconsistent. Going to be more inconsistent. Not terrible and unplayable like they were, but still inconsistent.
Yeah.
And then the trifecta from Chief Perp. With Moss on waivers, would you drop Javonte for Moss?
Yep. Not looking like Javonte is going to be anything more than he is. I mean, sure, he might score a touchdown between now and the end of the season. Maybe he'll even score 2. But outside of that, what are you getting from Javonte this year? Yeah. Get Moss.
Yeah, exactly. Not holding out hope for Javonte suddenly being league winner. Moss could be that guy. Here's another Moss question. Raghav Ravuri. Moss or Bijan?
I can't be this. I can't go this crazy on Moss. Still give me Bijan. He's the way better player, way more talented player. I know it's the Jets, but one thing about the Jets, they're not like a shutdown run defense. They're way better against the pass than the run. Bijan's phenomenal. Give me Bijan.
Yes. You still got to go with Bijan. Look at how he looked last week. I mean, if he's actually going to get touches and regular usage, yeah, you got to go with Bijan. And then on defense, Miami going against Washington or the Falcons. I think they're playing the Jets, aren't they?
Yeah, I think you got to go Falcons. I mean, Miami's good too against Sam Howell, but the thing about Sam Howell, at least Sam Howell can score points. Commanders' offense can score points. What is the upside? What is legit? What is the upside for the Jets? 12 points because they kicked 4 field goals. Like that's like their ceiling for this offense, right? Got to be Falcons.
Yeah, I said it last week when I was doing my underdog pick'ems. Took the higher on Tim Boyle interceptions, and it paid. I'm probably going to do it again this week. Falcons not even the best secondary, and it doesn't matter. Like he will throw at least 1, if not 2 interceptions.
Exactly. He'll trip over his own feet a few times for sacks. He'll probably fumble. And again, it literally took Darrington Evans fumbling at the 30 when they were just going to kill the clock. They were just going to kill the clock. They were just going to run Darrington Evans the whole drive. They were like, we don't need to. You have Mostert or Jeff Wilson out here. We're just going to run Darrington Evans. And of course, he fumbled because he doesn't play football hardly ever anymore. And the Jets got that garbage touchdown, and then they were like, fine, we're giving it to Mostert, and he had that long. But anyways, the point is, if it wasn't for that Darrington Evans third-string running back fumbling, they wouldn't have even scored a point last week. Brutal. I cannot believe that they are actually choosing to go with Tim Boyle again. What are we doing here? They are actively, they are consciously deciding Tim Boyle. Again, we're doing it. Let's go.
Yeah, we didn't see enough last week. We got to give him another shot. All right.
I'm never okay with players quitting, but if all the Jets players wanted to quit, I'd be I totally understand. Totally get it. Your coaching staff actively decided to play Tim Boyle again this week. If you don't want to play football this weekend, if you're nope, I'm striking, I'd be yep, I'm with you. Totally with you. Do it.
Solidarity.
Save your body.
Oh, Jets. Dimitrios Asproyanis, Goff or Purdy?
I think you got to go Purdy this week. Goff on the road against the Saints. I mean, he just had 2 phenomenal matchups at home and didn't come through. 6 turnovers. I'm sure he'll be better this week because it can't really be worse, but it's on the road against New Orleans. Not expecting a big Goff week. Give me Brock.
Yeah, it's just funny how quickly things change. A couple of weeks ago, this would have easily been Goff. Goff was playing great. Purdy had come off a couple of bad games in a row before the bye. There's no way you were even considering this. And now it's yeah, it's Purdy. Goff on the road, not as good. He's just, I don't know. He's been rough the last couple of weeks. And then in non-PPR, you go Mixon or Singletary.
I'm still going Singletary. He gets the Broncos at least. He caught passes. Mixon, I mean, again, 16 yards last week in this offense. At least before with Mixon, even though Mixon wasn't, lighting the world on fire or anything, at least before you say, well, he's in a good offense, he'll have chances to score. Well, what now?
Well, this is the one thing I had said last week was at least Mixon should have a floor because he's going to probably catch a lot of passes. Well, he didn't even do that. And even if he does, it doesn't matter because you're in a non-PPR league. So it's Singletary for sure. And then I got to pour one out. Trone Force. Remember when he said, if I lose, I'm out of it. We're like, no, you're still in it. Well, he might be out of it. Went into last night up 5. Opponent had Dobbs. So almost pulled it out.
That would have been.
You were just talking about garbage time touchdowns. Well, there you go.
Although I will say that wasn't technically a garbage time touchdown because it gave him the lead,
Well, I mean,
actually.
they were, yeah, but
It
I
gave
guess
him the lead.
fluky touchdown.
Yeah, but yeah. Oh, man. Sorry.
That stings because it happened in the fourth quarter and
Yeah.
because of a fumble, right? Wasn't it a fumble? A field fumble?
Yeah, Justin Fields fumbled for the second time. That game last night. That game was the game equivalent of the Jets offense.
The personification of the Jets
Like if
offense.
you take the Jets offense and turned it into a football game, it would have been that game last night.
Like if the Jets were able to play themselves, that's what it would look like.
That's what it would have looked
That's
like.
what their inter-squad scrimmages look like.
Yes.
All right, here's better news. Carl Williams squeaked out the win, ended up with the top points versus being beat by the top guy. You were the top guy. Got into the playoff spot. Got to hold on to it. All right, Carl, we're going to get you there. So now he wants to know about last night. Rashawn Johnson did see his usage go up, but they're on bye this week. So I don't know. Worth a stash?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He badly outsnapped Khalil Herbert. I mean, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting because, again, you just don't know. I mean, who knows with it's play calling, Luke Getsy. But they got the bye week. Maybe Foreman is healthy when they come back, and then who knows? So I would be a little nervous about rolling out Rashawn, but, I mean, he's not the worst if you want to stash him. Clyde Allen dropped a super sticker. He's got a non-PPR team. Who should he start? QB, RB, wide receiver, tight end, and 2 flex. Okay, Stroud or Kyler?
I think you got to go with Stroud this week at home against the Broncos.
Yeah. Going to go Stroud 2. Bijan, Ford, Swift.
We're just doing one running back?
Wait a minute. Well, I don't know. You're right, because it says QB, RB, wide receiver. Well, I guess if you need 1 RB, it's Bijan. If you need 2, Bijan and Swift.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember, this is non-PPR, but I don't think it matters in that case. Okay, so wide receiver, I guess who's your favorite?
Ooh. Waddle and Ayuk and Pittman. But I think in standard, I'm going to go Ayuk.
Yeah.
Because, the touchdowns are probably going to go to Tyreek. Touchdowns for the Colts probably going to go to Zach Moss. So I'm going to go Ayuk. And then I think you got to flex Swift because it's non-PPR. And then I probably flex Waddle this week as well. I mean, it's the Commanders. He should be able to go like over 100 yards this week. So I think I'm going to go. I'm assuming you need 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 2 flexes. I'm going to go Bijan, Ayuk, Swift, and Waddle.
Agree. And then at tight end, Conklin.
It's got to be McBride. I mean, we just railed on the Jets offense for like 10 straight minutes, and then you're going to throw a Jet tight end at us? Nah, yeah. Go with McBride.
It is not the Jet. All right. And then the Rico guy.
Nice.
Flinched at 8-4. Very nice. He says there's no trades, no claims. That's interesting. Waivers are closed for your playoff teams?
Or maybe there's nobody worth picking up. Like, I was looking at our endgame leagues. It's like, I don't even know if I'm going to make a claim this week.
Yeah, exactly. I really did look through all however many, 12, 13, I don't know, leagues that aren't Dynasty. And Zach Moss is available in 2 of them. And one of them, I don't even need running back, but I'm going to put a claim in anyways. But yeah,
he's not available in any of mine. Lucky you.
Yeah, well, I don't think I'll get him, but going to focus on my fancy basketball team. Rico touchdown, maybe. All right.
Maybe.
Oh, that's even better. I just realized off work till January. Nice.
Get to watch a lot of football.
Yeah.
Join us on all our live streams.
Let's see. You can watch basketball every night too.
That too.
All right, Phil. Yeah, don't be a stranger just because you don't need waiver claims. Still hang out here. Carl with another pick 1 receiver and 2 flex for the week in half. London, Jaden Reed, Connor, Taysom Hill, Rashawn, or HN. Even if Michael Wilson plays, can't start Michael Wilson.
No. All right, we need a wide receiver and 2 flexes. I think the wide receiver's got to be Jaden Reed. Can't feel good about London against Sauce and the Jets this week, so I'm going to go Jaden Reed. At flex, I'm going to go. Well, you can't play Rashawn. He's on bye. Wilson,
Right.
no. Probably Connor needs to be one. I know you're going to say Taysom Hill. I'm going to say Achane. I'm going to say Achane if he plays. Reed,
Well,
Connor,
look,
Achane if he plays.
if Achane plays, yeah, I want to start Achane among these guys, yes. And Taysom Hill to go with him. So there you go. J. Luke got JT Moss, B. Rob, Achane, Amari, Pickens, Deonte, Cup, Nakua, Dell, and Noah Brown. Your team looked a lot better in the beginning of the year than it does now. Just sorry to say that. Can't play Cooper. Can't play Cup, basically. Well, Noah Brown, who knows if he's going to play.
Cooper, another guy I didn't even talk about, who's just been decimated by injury, but not to himself. Like, I don't remember a year like this where we lost so many like fantasy relevant QBs that just impacted their offenses like this. Like I don't ever remember a year like this.
So this doesn't say how many you're gonna play. I guess we'll assume 2 and 3.
Well, I mean, you better. You got Moss, so I'm going Moss and Brian Robinson if we're doing 2 there. I'm going Deonte. Deonte and Dell. Is Noah Brown even playing? Like, what? You guys remember Noah Brown? It was like, that feels like it was a myth. It feels like I dreamt about Noah Brown. You guys remember when Noah Brown had like 380 yards in 2 games, or did I dream that? Was that real, or did I dream that?
Is anything we do real, or is it all a dream?
Yeah, that's true. Moss and Brian Robinson, Dell and Deonte. If you need a flex and Achane plays, just give me Achane. I'll shoot for the upside. Otherwise, probably Deontay Johnson, I guess. Or did I already say Deontay Johnson? I don't even remember.
I think you already said Deonte after Dell. What, Puka?
I guess Puka. Oh man.
Yeah. Let's hope Achane plays. And then we have Maserati Mozzie. No JT, no K9, but you're in the playoffs. That's a good thing. You should have, well, hopefully at least one of those guys.
Trey Sermon. This is okay. We need to screenshot this. This is without a doubt our only Trey Sermon question we've gotten all year. This has to be the only one.
This is definitely a first. Hold on, because I also you remember this did happen. This is a real thing. I was irrationally high on Trey Sermon when he was a rookie.
This has got to be our only Trey Sermon question of the year. Thank you for that. Made my night.
That definitely made my day too. I think Dalvin Cook being in there is almost as good. DJ Dallas and Chase Edmonds. I mean, wow. So rolling into the playoffs with RB1 Devin Singletary and RB2 Trey Sermon or Dalvin Cook. I think this week it has to be DJ Dallas.
Yeah, DJ Dallas. But I'd probably pick up Chase Edmonds. Because hey, not like please, fantasy gods, don't do this to me as well. But if Rachaad White got hurt, Chase Edmonds is going to be the guy there.
Yeah.
I mean, what is DJ Dallas? Like what? Trey Sermon, does he even play? When's the last time Trey Sermon had a snap?
At least, yeah, DJ Dallas on your roster. You can amuse yourself by looking at his screenshot, right?
That's right. Photo. The crazy eyes or whatever. Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. Thank you for that, Maserati.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Let's get to Doug Fenton again. Need the defense. All right. We got New Orleans, the Lions. They're facing each other. The Jags or the Bucks, not Milwaukee.
I think out of these, it's got to be the Jaguars, right? At home against Jake Browning. Like, I know you say, like, oh, it's the Bengals, but it's Jake Browning.
But doesn't Tampa Bay get Carolina?
Yeah, but I don't know. Tampa Bay, like, Yeah, I
they're
mean,
not as
Tampa Bay's
good.
not a bad spot either against Carolina, but
Yeah, but Jags, at least they have like Josh Allen who will get sacks. They have better players. So that's true.
exactly. And they're at home, and it's Jake Browning. Like, yeah, I'll take the Jags.
Yeah, Jags. Rest of season, I mean, I don't know. What's the Jags schedule? I guess we'll look.
Well, I wouldn't worry about rest of the season. I wouldn't even worry about that. But let's see. Jags get the Browns next week, so you can roll with them again. Then they get the Ravens. You probably don't want them then the Bucks. And then they finish with the Panthers. So
Yeah, I
that.
mean, week 15, you definitely don't want to start them, but every other week they're startable, so
Yeah.
that's fine. All right. There's Brian. What's up, Brian? Struggling to make the playoffs with JT, Elijah Higgins, Chubb, DJ Moore, Jacobs on bye. May have to start Juwan and Taysom. I mean,
Man,
you got to do what you got to do.
The Saints.
And
Look,
two
Saints tight end stack.
I
will say at least Dearness Johnson's getting some touches. But he's not Trey Sermon. Like, at least he's on the field and he gets touches. So could be worse, but
I mean, I don't know what to do either. I mean, I don't know if you got somebody better available. If it's an endgame league, probably not. So yeah, don't know what to tell you. Good luck. Marcus WJ got Justin Herbert and Chase for Hill and Monty.
Which Hill is that? If it's Tyreek Hill, I want the Hill and Monty side. If it's Taysom Hill, sure, I'll take the Herbert and Chase side. I don't know what other hills are there. There's no QB Hill, right?
There's Justice Hill.
Okay, then I'll take the Herbert and Chase side.
I mean, I see Chase involved. I'm assuming it's Tyreek Hill. If so, I don't know why. I guess somebody is desperate for a quarterback, or they just really want Justin Herbert. Maybe that's what it is. The Burrow owner, or somebody's like, "Oh no, Josh Allen's on bye. I need a quarterback. Here, take Tyreek Hill and give me Justin Herbert." I don't know. If it's Tyreek Hill, take it. If it's any other Hill, don't.
Yeah, exactly. If it's Tyreek Hill and Monty, like, smash, accept that. Smash, yeah. Yes.
All right. All right, and then Phil just saying what up. Yes, the dogs definitely agree. Vinny. What is up, Vinny? 16-teamer needs help finding a quarterback that won't go minus points. That might be tough this week. Geno, Stafford, Jones, or Pickett? You know what? I low-key don't hate Pickett this week.
I mean, look, Geno could get you negative points against Cowboys on the road. Stafford could get you negative points against the Browns. Pickett probably won't get you negative points against who they play, the Cardinals? Yeah, I don't think Pickett's going to get you negative points. So I might go Pickett, honestly.
Yeah, this week, just because Stafford has such a bad matchup. Yeah. And Cup, look, what if Cup doesn't even play? Yeah, I'm going Pickett, believe it or not. Prohibit. Do I trade away Jefferson for Rachaad White? Well, 6 and Sicken needs to win. Have Diggs, Amon-Ra, and Tank Dell. RBs are Brees, Warren, and Achane. I mean, I can see where you're coming from. You think we can get a better running back?
Yeah, I think you should get somebody better. And look, okay, so you get Rachaad White, but you still don't have Diggs this week. I mean, I guess you're going to play Amon-Ra, Tank, and then I guess you're going to play 2 running backs and flex one of the running backs, I guess is your plan. But, yeah, I feel like you should get more. I mean, I get it because you got to win, and Rashad should have a big game this week. And who knows what Jefferson is going to be like when he gets back next week, especially if – but what if they do go to Nick Mullins when he gets back in week 15? I mean, but I feel like you should get a better running back than Rachaad White, as much as I like Rachaad White.
Right. Not saying Rachaad White isn't good enough to be your starter. It's just, I mean, for Justin Jefferson, you should be getting a stud, like elite running back. So I get it. I mean, sure, you can do this, but maybe try to get somebody just a little higher end. Zamar, Velez, drop Jaden Reed or Jalen Warren to get Zach Moss.
I mean, if you're gonna be rolling with Zach Moss, like if he's now gonna be your best RB2, I mean, you could probably drop Jaden Reed. As much as I like Jaden Reed, I mean, are you really starting Jaden Reed week in and week out? So yeah, you could probably I don't want to drop Warren, but you could probably drop Jaden Reed for him.
Yeah, exactly. Reed is solid, but not a guy who you feel like you have to start. So to get Moss, sure, do it. And there you go, just a big W. You kept Zach Moss. Well done. That's paying off for you, unfortunately. You stashed Jonathan Taylor early in the season and had him come back, and yeah, it was smart until now. But
well, this is one of those. This wasn't even like one of those like. This was like you woke up this morning on a random Tuesday and found out you just won the fantasy football lottery by having Zach Moss on your bench. Like it wasn't like even one of those like like oh man, Jonathan Taylor, he's down, he's writhing around in pain. This was like it's Tuesday. I got Zach Moss doing nothing. Oh wait, I have Zach Moss league winner on my bench. What?
Yeah,
that's what made it even extra painful.
It kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, yeah, like exactly like you got out of bed and someone just came up to you and punched you in the gut. Like
right, exactly. It's like, wait, what?
Wait,
what? JT, what? Brutal.
One of those things. Yeah. By the way, I enjoyed this. Clyde says his dogs were barking at my dogs. I wish my dogs could hear your dogs barking at them so they could bark back at your dogs, because that's what would happen. And then Chris's dogs are going to come in.
Yeah. And then the stream, that's it. The stream is just dogs barking at each other, the whole stream.
These days on YouTube, that's probably a channel that exists somewhere. And
probably
we could start that. Gonna keep going with the super chats. We're not too far behind, but if you did drop one in about the last, let's say 20 minutes, we're still coming around to you, so hang tight. I do have to remind everyone who wasn't on early, because we've been on for about an hour and a half. Maybe you didn't know. Maybe you forgot. But we're partnered with Underdog. And if you didn't know, speaking of dogs, Underdog is the place to play for fantasy, because it's fun, it's easy, and there's a good chance you win money, because first of all, just for signing up and creating an account, you basically double your money. Up to $100, you get a 100% deposit match. Just make sure you use promo code ENDGAME to get that. And you get the new special. You can do those pick'ems. You get the pick'em of Dak Prescott going higher than half of a yard. That's right. Thursday night, Dak Prescott pulls out 1 yard at least. You get that pick. You just have to pair it up with one other pick to triple your entry, just like that. So check it out now. We got a link down there below in the description, which you can use to take you straight there. Or you can just download the app and make sure when you do create your account, use promo code ENDGAME. All right, let's go to Michael Cazares with another. Needs to pick two between Downs, Chase, Pittman, and Reed with DJ Moore and bye.
I'm going the cold stack. I mean, it's hard not to love Pittman this week against the Titans. He's been awesome. And I like Downs again. I mean, 13 targets last week, now against Tennessee. Reed's interesting, but I mean, Chiefs do have a strong secondary, and Chase, I know he came through, but again, two of those passes should have been interceptions that somehow deflected right to Jamar Chase. So I'm going Downs and Pittman here.
Yeah, I like Reed, but I don't love this week's matchup. Chiefs are a tough defense, so I'm going to have to sit him. You almost have to start Pittman. Can't really think about it. So between Downs and Chase, that's the dilemma. The only reason I really wouldn't just automatically say Downs is because I'm like, oh, well, I'm doing both Colts receivers, and do I want to sit Chase? But again, does it matter? Like, it comes down to this. Who do you think is going to score more fantasy points? It doesn't matter who else is starting, who your opponent has. Like, it really doesn't matter. Who's going to score more points? So I'm fine going Downs over Chase. Before we do the next super chat, I think this is a good one to answer from PJ Monroe. His trade deadline's tomorrow. He's 9-2, which is nice. So, do you trade Pollard and Adams or hold them?
I mean, yeah, if you can, like I always say, if you can trade them high, like actually trade them high, you should do it. Definitely. I think Pollard's a great sell high right now, right? Two nice games in a row. People are starting to be like, okay, maybe this is it. Maybe this is it, right? I'm not sure how high of a sell high Adams is right now. But he still has value. So yeah, if you can definitely sell him high, do it. But I mean, don't trade him just to trade him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously depends what you're getting back. I think Pollard is a good sell high. I think I would keep Adams because you're probably not going to really upgrade from Adams. I mean, I don't see anybody giving you a better receiver or a stud running back for him, but I think Pollard's a good sell high. And then this one too, Shelly wants to know, and I'm curious if you would entertain this. Would you drop Brees?
No, this is too much. This is too much. I mean, I know Brees hasn't been great, and like maybe he won't be great, but there's got to be somebody else you can drop besides Brees, I would think.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, that can't be your worst running back or just worst player. So, yeah. Kyle Williams here, Goff and his slippery hands, or would you go for Minshew this week?
I mean, I like Minshew. He's in a good spot. Maybe he'll outscore Goff, but I don't think I could put Minshew in over Goff, even with his slippery hands. I'm still going Goff.
I think he might have solved that issue. I mean, who knows? But yeah.
Maybe he'll wear two gloves this week.
He should. Yeah. Sorry, Minshew's not going to get me all excited. It's not like this offense is going to be better without Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, I'm going to go Goff still. Rusty Shackelford. What is up? In the playoffs currently, but still needs to win to secure it. So, need to flex Deonte, Higgins, Connor, Ford, Ferguson. And those are the starters. I don't think we would switch any starters now.
No, I'm gonna go I'm gonna go Deonte here. Unless it's non-PPR, then I would go Connor. But assuming it's PPR, I'm gonna go Deonte. Like I said, the offense looked like a real NFL offense finally. I don't think Freiermuth is gonna get 11 targets again. It's the Cardinals. Deonte should at least be good this week. I'm gonna go Deonte.
Yeah. It's either Deonte or Connor. Those are the only two I'm really considering there. And like you said, PPR, still go Deonte. I mean, I didn't feel terrible about Kenny Pickett. I guess I shouldn't feel terrible about Deontay Johnson. And then we got G Medina. Do I go Tua or Hal?
It's got to be Tua this week. I know he was terrible last week. I have him in the league. He was terrible. But this is the Commanders. I mean, who is the last really? Tommy DeVito, 3 touchdowns against the Commanders. I think Tua can have a good game. I'm going Tua for sure this week.
Yeah, there's no question. Tua really could be the QB1 this week, especially with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson on bye. No team out of every team in the NFL, no team has given up more fantasy points to quarterbacks than the Commanders. That's who Tua gets to play this week. There's absolutely no reason you can bench Tua in any format anywhere. Like, there's no quarterback I would put over Tua this week at all.
Jalen Hurts.
Nope.
Ooh. All right.
He plays the 49ers. I mean, you got to realize that.
It doesn't matter.
You're still playing Jalen Hurts, but
he gets 2 tush pushes of game and throws for another one. It doesn't even matter.
I know. No, look, don't sit Jalen Hurts unless you have Tua.
Okay.
And then at wide receivers, Sutton or Downs, and that's closer.
It's closer, but I'm going Downs. I like Downs this week. Maybe I'm too irrationally high on this Colts passing game, but I like Downs again this week. Like Sutton will probably do what he does, score a touchdown, catch 4 or 5 balls, get you 50, 60 yards. But I think Downs can catch 4 or 5 balls, get you 50, 60 yards and a touchdown too, and maybe even do better. So I'm going Downs.
It's a great spot again for the Colts receivers. Like Tampa was a great spot. Titans are just as good of matchup. They're not actually good, which is why it's good for downs. So this is really close to me. I think Sutton's a little safer, but downs for the ceiling. Go for the upside. So I would go downs too. But this is pretty close between them. And then Sammy, thank you. Appreciate that. We're going T-Law or Kyler. I think we kind of talked about this already.
Yeah, I'm going Tyler. I like him at home against the Bengals. Should have a big game. I'm going T-Law. Did I say Tyler? I think I said Tyler.
You said Tyler, like the creator.
It's a combination. It's Trevor Lawrence's passing with Kyler Murray's running. No, I'm going Trevor Lawrence.
That would be impressive. Yeah, I'm going Trevor Lawrence too. Just barely. Because it's not as great a spot for Kyler on the road against Pittsburgh. So Perry, 455. Got to take Achane off of waivers. Nice. Also need a QB. I only have Goff. Okay. Well, you have Goff. You can play Goff. I'm not sure. Okay. Have Connor, Kyron, Montgomery, Warren. Who do I drop? I guess to get Achane.
Yeah, just play Goff. And if you're not going to play Goff, drop Goff for whatever QB you're going to play. Like if there's a better QB on the waiver wire. He's not on bye this week, so just play Goff. I really don't want to drop any of these guys. But I do really want to get Achane.
There's got to be somebody else. Is there some other receiver you can drop for Achane?
Receiver. Do you have 2 tight ends? Do you have like Sam Laporta and I don't know, Tyler Higbee? I don't know. Even if you had like Sam Laporta and David Njoku, I would just say drop David Njoku.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm curious, Perry, if you want to put, you don't have to super chat. You can just put a regular comment at some point. Just tell us who else could you drop besides those running backs? Because I wouldn't want to drop any of them either. Let's do Kathy Weigel, high-low photo and video. Always with us. Moss over Eckler.
Nah, this is too much. Even for my Moss craziness that I have right now, this is too much. Like, I know Eckler hasn't been good the last 2 games, but again, he gets Denver, Raiders, Bills, Denver. That's his last 4 games. That's smash spot, smash spot, smash spot, smash spot. It's about as good as it gets for any running back.
Right. And what we said too, again, you can never sit Eckler because even though you say, well, he's running slower, it does not matter because he will catch 8 passes. He will score touchdowns. It doesn't matter. You cannot ever sit Eckler.
It's not like Eckler's success has been like, oh, like he's like Barry Sanders or something where he does nothing, and then bam, 70-yard run. That's never been what Eckler's done. It's the pass catching and the touchdowns.
Right. He's not Devon Achane. He's also right. Zach Kane is 7-5. All right. So my Mixon and Singletary for Etienne.
Yeah, give me Etienne. I mean, you're talking about
definitely.
Look. I always hate to say this because people are going to be like, you're a hater. You just hate Joe Mixon. But Joe Mixon looks like unstartable right now. Looks unstartable in this offense. And it's not like Joe Burrow. It's not like, well, maybe Joe Burrow will be back. Like, no, we're not getting Joe Burrow back. And Singletary, like, yeah, whatever. Damian Pierce back. You're getting like a locked-in, high-end RB1. Yeah, take Etienne for sure.
This is easily Etienne. Again, not sure why somebody is doing this to get those 2 guys, but just thank them and take the trade and be on your way.
It's because Etienne's been bad for like 3 straight games, and now it's like he's a bust.
That's right, because Dearness Johnson's taken over his job. Julio he said his roster is outdated. No more trades. Okay, but you got a good roster. Let's see. Pick 2 running backs in a flex.
I think I got to go Pollard and Stevenson at running back. Not feeling a big Gibbs week.
Yeah.
Although, you know what? I might flex Gibbs now that I look at it. I don't really want to start Garrett Wilson. Puka against the Browns. Yeah, I'll just go Pollard, Gibbs, and Stevenson. 2 running backs and a flex.
If Achan is a full go, would you entertain him over Gibbs? It's just too risky.
No, because I think Gibbs has just as much home run potential as Achan, and he's not coming off of injury, so why risk it?
Yeah, agree. I would just go the first 3. You're good. Yeah, I mean, it's fun to get the new waiver wire ads, but when you have players like this, you really don't need to pick up any of those guys. It's not a great week for waivers, anyways. It's kind of Zach Moss or bust. All right, it's always a great week to watch Shrek 2 on DVD. Dynasty.
Nice.
Starts it. 1 QB, 1 receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex, and a super flex. We got Geno, Ritter, Downs, Z-Flow, Rice, Dotson, Ferg, Muth, Sharb, Rashawn, Singletary. Is already starting Ramondre Bijan in the Sun God. All right. Yeah, the quarterbacks aren't the best, but, it is what it is.
Well, I guess you're going Geno and Ritter. Because I don't see... Well, okay, maybe we're not going to super flex one of these guys. Let's see. At wide receiver, Ravens on bye, right? So I'm probably going Downs over Rice. Although it's close, but I'll probably go Downs. Tight end, I think I got to go Muth over Ferguson. At flex, okay, I'm going to go Rice. I mean, can I start any of these guys over Ritter against the Jets? I mean,
you're risking negative points there.
Do we go Singletary against the Broncos? Do we gamble on Dotson catching a touchdown?
I thought about Dotson for a second because this feels like it could be one of his random 100-yard and touchdown games, but of course it could also be 0.
I don't think Dotson will get you negative.
No.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Ritter could.
Geno at quarterback, Downs at wide receiver, Muth at tight end, Rice at flex. I might go Singletary in the super flex. I feel like I can get like double-digit points from him. Maybe Dotson if you want more of a ceiling. If you're willing to risk it for more of a ceiling.
Yeah, because of the matchup, Singletary does make the most sense. All right. Shout out to Chief Perp. Appreciate you. Over rostered. Right. Who do I drop? Also trying to hopefully drop Javonte for Moss. Like that's doable. Yeah. So Lamar, Stroud, Dell, Collins, Ridley, Flower, Walker, Monty, Swift. Yeah. You got to drop one of those guys. Or do you drop Walker?
No. Can't drop Walker. Why do you have to drop one of these guys? I don't understand.
Maybe he had Walker like on his IR spot because he was out last week, and maybe he's not out anymore. So
it's that annoying. Yeah, it's that annoying where it's like because he's so annoying.
Now remember earlier he asked Lamar or Stroud rest of the season. Maybe this is why he asked. Do you drop a quarterback?
Yeah, I mean you might have to.
Well,
I mean,
you know what? But if we would go Lamar, you can't drop Stroud this week because Lamar's on bye, so he has to start Stroud this week.
Oh man!
And you can't just drop Lamar.
No.
I guess it's got to be Flowers.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Flowers. He's on bye.
Unless it's Walker, because look, he's saying he has Jacobs, Etienne, Barkley, Monty, and Swift. So Walker is like his 6th running back.
I know, but do you want to just give some playoff team Kenneth Walker for free? Like some playoff team who's like, man, I just lost JT. Oh, look, Kenneth Walker hit the waiver wire. Sweet. You know what I mean?
No, I don't want to do that. Just looking at his depth, he's got Dell Collins, Ridley, Flowers, because Flowers is his number 4 receiver.
Yeah, I mean, like, do we really think Flowers is going to, like, just be a monster rest of the season? I mean, I think he'll be okay. Flowers is probably, if you have to drop somebody, it's probably Flowers.
Yeah, I guess Flowers because he's on bye. Maybe nobody picks him up. And then hopefully there's a way you get him back or something else, a receiver. But yeah, I guess that's the best thing to do here is just drop Flowers. I still think, even though Zach Moss would be your RB7, it's still worth getting him, like you said, so somebody else doesn't get him.
Exactly.
All right. What about David Uffner? Welcome, David. Rate my team and pick a flex. Okay, so Josh Allen, but not this week. Monty, CMC, Brees, Keenan, Lamb, Logan Thomas, Cleveland defense, Downs, Warren, Jason, Sharpson, Minshew.
All right, well, let's look at your team when people are on bye. You got Josh Allen, you got Monty, CMC, Brees, you got Keenan, Lamb. Wow, nice. Tight end, okay, whatever. Bench is not bad. Not bad. Say this is like a not. It's got to be like an 8.75, maybe even a 9. I mean, okay, yeah, you got Logan Thomas, the tight end, but who cares? You're stacked everywhere else. And then I would say this week for the flex, I might go Warren. I know he let down last week, but man, he gets a fantastic matchup this week against the Cardinals. I mean, I know everybody's losing their mind for Kyron Williams, but Royce Freeman had 77 yards on 13 carries, 6 yards per carry. Like, yeah, this just start every running back against the Cardinals. Just put him in your lineup. Like, I might even start Trey Sermon if he plays the Cardinals. That's how bad they are.
There we go. Pick up. All right, I'm going to put that. I'm going to beat the breakout. Trey Sermon.
Well, you got to check to see if he plays the Cardinals between now and week 17 first. If not, then it probably doesn't happen.
Right. Yeah. Devin Singletary had what, 150, $150 on the Cardinals. Yeah, it's between either Downs or Warren here, but I feel really solid about Warren. I would just go with him. And if this is a 12-team league, that's what we assume if we don't know any better. Assuming 12-man league, assuming PPR, yeah, I'd give it at least an 8.5. Thomas is your weak spot. You're solid at RB2. Your flexes are good but not amazing. That's the only other thing too. Solid, but yeah, this is still a really good team. You definitely have good championship aspirations. And then, did somebody say Trey Sermon? That's funny. I know. Why would somebody get irrationally high over a running back who has been underperforming? I can't imagine that either. All right, Tyler Connor. Pick 2, and a flex. Pittman, Hopkins, Deonte, and Reed. Gibbs, Monty, Connor, Achane. And then here's where I got Purdy and Ferg in there, and those guys are on bye. All right,
2 wide receiver. I mean, it's got to be Pittman's got to be one of them. And then I think I'm still going to go Deonte for the other one. Again, it's the Cardinals. The offense actually looked like an NFL offense. I feel like he should have a good game. So I'm going to go Pittman and Deonte. I mean, am I going the Lions stack? Look, the Lions, they didn't kill you last week, right? Monty had a good game. Gibbs, I think, got 11. Is this PPR? It doesn't say, but he got like 11 in PPR. Still, he catches passes.
You're both startable.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Lions running backs and then flex. I think I'm going to go Jaden Reed at flex if it's PPR. If it's non-PPR, I'll go James Conner.
Still hating on D-Hop, I see. All right. I'm going to go Pittman and Deonte too. I'm fine with Gibbs and Monty. I mean, it's not the worst matchup here. It's at home. We got the Colts. Hopkins has some upside. Reed is more for floor. So I guess, pick your level of risk tolerance for this week. I mean, with those guys all on bye, these are your starters. It might need a little more upside than usual. All right. And then we got the real Superman, but Josh Allen is on bye. Ryan A. Murray. Okay, I think he's asking if we're going Kyler Murray or Jordan Love.
Nah, I'll just go Kyler Murray. He's been pretty good. He's running in touchdowns. He gets a good matchup against the Steelers. I'll go Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I'm gonna like Jordan Love the rest of the season after this week. The schedule is so good, just not this week. It's not terrible. I think he could still be fine, but I'm not going to put him over Murray. All right, and then let's see. Dan Schlutz. Full PPR, got Kyler, Gibbs, Ramondre, CD, AJB, McBride, and Tank. On the bench is Connor, Devontae, Waddle, Rice, and Higgins. Needs a win.
All right. Gibbs, Ramondre, CD, AJ Brown.
Man, you got some good receivers.
Oh, man. I don't really want to sit. I think I have to play Waddle over Tank this week.
Yeah.
It's the Commanders. I know Tank's been good, but the Broncos do have a good secondary. I know Nico's going to mostly get Surtain, but they still have other good players in that secondary. That hasn't been the issue this year. It's been that running defense. So, but really, the whole defense has been a bit better. But I got to go Waddle over Tank this week against the Commanders. Too good of a matchup. But I think everything else looks good.
Yeah, everything else is fine, but exactly. I got to go Waddle this week and just hope he puts up a huge game. Why shouldn't he? Why should
Right.
I know it's hard to sit Tank, but for Waddle this week, yes, I can do that. And I just had to put this up. Someone is giving a shout out to Jake Browning. OG Sumo Vibe, gonna put some respect on his name because he super flexed him and he helped win his week by less than 2 points.
Well, remember I'm pretty sure OG Sumo Vibe, because I recognize your picture there.
Yeah,
pretty sure he asked us this Superflex question. He said these were his choices, and I think we reluctantly said Jake Browning. At least he's got Jamar Chase, so hey, it worked out.
I think I do remember that. We said you can't start Amari, and didn't Bryce Young. All right, there you go. Now I don't know if I'll recommend Jake Browning again, unless those are your options. But shout out to Jake. Glad you got the win. All right, Johnny Pena, Tua, Sharp, Chase, Hall. Ooh, okay, we got a 4 for 4 here. Would you trade Tua, Charbonnet, Chase, and Hall for Goff, Moss, Murray, and Pittman? 2 quarterbacks.
Well, let's go. I prefer Tua to the Goff. I prefer Pittman to Chase. I probably still have to prefer Breeze to Moss only because we don't know. What if JT's only out a couple weeks? And then Moss goes back to doing nothing. The interesting one here is Charb and Murray. Is that Kyler Murray or Latavius Murray?
That's a good question. I can't imagine Latavius Murray being involved in a trade, but stranger things have happened. But then it would be almost more weird if it was Kyler Murray, because why would it be 2 quarterbacks?
Right. I don't know. I mean, weird. I'm going to assume it's Latavius Murray. I guess I'll take the Goff side just to get Pittman, because I think Pittman is actually the best player out of all these. He's the guy. I'm I want Pittman. And there is some worry about Tua. He does have a tough playoff schedule. So maybe I'll take the Goff, Moss, whoever the Murray is, Pittman side.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. It would be really weird if it was 2 quarterbacks, but it's a single quarterback league.
Hey, we've seen some weird trades.
So if that's the case, if it's Kyler Murray, sure, take that side, and then maybe try to trade one of those quarterbacks for something. I don't know. All right, let's get to Steven again. Thanks for the question. Winning week 13, even without a QB. There you go. Hey, Taysom should qualify as quarterback. Make that happen. Protest. Petition your league.
Yeah. I will say this. Well, they have Jameis Winston, but if something ever happened to Derek Carr and Jameis Winston and they had to play Taysom Hill, remember that happened? Remember what year was that? When Taysom Hill was listed as a quarterback and tight end, and Drew Brees got hurt, and he started at quarterback, and people were able to play Taysom Hill. In fact, I was able to play Taysom Hill in my tight end slot. Quarterback Taysom Hill, who was throwing 25 passes a game plus running the ball 10 times. It was unfair. It was literally unfair. Remember that?
Oh, that's why they changed the rule.
Yeah. It was literally unfair. It was I got a quarterback in my tight end slot. Good luck, everybody.
Didn't they do that like mid-season too? That he was listed and then they changed his eligibility. They're like, oh, he's a quarterback. You can't play him at tight end anymore. Everyone's like, what? You can't do that.
Which also wasn't fair because it's like, wait a minute. You can't change a rule in the middle of the season. Yeah, but they did. Yeah.
They did. Yeah. Well, congrats on the dub also. 808 Mike. What is up? Planning for the playoffs as you should be. Trade Kyler Murray for James Cook if you already have Mahomes.
Yeah, why not? Why not? I mean, you got Brian Robinson, James Conner, Zach Moss. You don't really have like you need the depth, right? You need the depth. I feel like you might be able to get a little bit better than James Cook, but I'm okay with that. Like, you got Mahomes.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Maybe see if you can upgrade a little bit over Cook. Maybe the Burrow owner, former Burrow owner, or somebody else wants a quarterback, somebody who's hurt in the core. I don't know. So I would try for a little better running back, but even so, I'm okay with it. Zach Dabney in a 2 QB league. Well, I remember this. He's got 2 QBs on bye, nobody on waivers. Was offered Purdy and Debo for Gibbs and Fields. Well, actually seems pretty fair.
For Purdy and Debo. So you're getting Purdy and Debo, I assume?
Yeah, he'd be doing this because, I mean, I know I always say,
actually, didn't we look
a bye week, but he needs a quarterback for this week because 2 of them are on bye, but also he's getting Debo instead of Gibbs. His other running backs are White, Ford, and B-Rob.
Yeah, but I mean, also, didn't we look last night? Purdy has a great rest of season schedule, right?
Yes.
Yeah, take Purdy and Debo. Take Purdy and Debo.
Yeah, I can do this, and I think you really have to look. It's hard to not say, man, I can't just not have a quarterback this week. You have to look long term. You have to look at the playoffs, look rest of the season. Is this going to be unfair for you rest of the season? I don't think it is.
No.
I mean, I think I'm fine having Debo over Gibbs and White. And look, you don't have an RB1, a clear RB1, but Gibbs isn't really a clear RB1 anyways. He's more like an RB2. You have a bunch of RB2s. I'm fine with White and B-Rob. So, yeah, I think I'd do this. Brian says, you remember when you didn't like that I got Kincaid in that league? Yeah, I think he just wants to remind me that he ran up the score and beat me in that league, and now we're tied for first place, I think.
Well, I didn't like it because I wasn't like, what are you doing trading for Moss? I was like, why are you giving Pierre Kincaid when it's like the one hole on his team?
Right.
That was more what I was upset about.
Right. That's what it was.
But look, your team is even more stacked, although losing JT hurts, but maybe Moss will fill in. But your team is even more stacked, so it might not even matter that you gave Pierre Kincaid. We might all be playing for second place right now with your team.
Yeah, I mean, I can't guarantee anything. There's a chance we meet again in the playoffs, Brian. We'll see. Hopefully I make the finals. The Kraken. Teams hoarding quarterbacks. Hate that. Okay, you have Howell and Dobbs. You have Howell. You're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, do you even hold on to Dobbs?
No, you can drop Dobbs and look, Stafford's on waiver wire, Carr's on waiver wire. Stafford will have Stafford was great last week. He won't be great this week probably against the Browns, but he'll have better games. Like, you can stream. You got Howell this week. You're fine.
Well,
I wouldn't look. You say your team is hoarding QBs. I'm literally in leagues where I have like Baker Mayfield as my best option. Like, there are no Howells on the waiver wire. There are no Dobbses on the waiver wire. There are no Staffords. They're gone. So I wouldn't say your league is hoarding QBs. I think you have some pretty good options here.
Yeah. I mean, at least you got startable players on waivers. Not your favorite, but at least you can roll with them. I will say this, though. I remember now with Howell, you got to go with Howell this week, and not just because Dobbs is on bye, but you got to play Howell this week. But then he's on bye in week 14. They had the last bye, and then his schedule is terrible. So you actually don't necessarily want to go with Howell rest of the season because, again, you can play in week 14. And if I remember, It's just not a good schedule. So you might want to just kind of pick and play between Stafford or maybe Carr. So don't blindly go with Howell beyond this week. But this week, go Howell. Doug Fenton, another one here. One receiver, one flex. Devontae Smith, Puka Tank, or Kirk.
Got to be Devonta Smith at wide receiver. And then I think I still got to go Tank over Kirk. He just has more upside, it feels like right now. So I'm going to go Smith and Tank.
Yep. Pretty easily can go those two. Can't feel great about Puka. Look, I feel good about Kirk pretty much every week, but I think Tank and Devontae just have more upside this week. And then good evening, Amy. Can you guys pick one? Yes, we can. Mitchell, Deonte, Cooks, Rashawn, and Downs.
It's got to be Downs. I shouldn't say it's got to be. I do like Deonte this week, but I think Downs is above him. Mitchell's on a bye. I'm not feeling Brandon Cooks this week. Rashawn's also on a bye. Not feeling Brandon Cooks as much this week like I did last week against Commanders. So, but I just like Downs. I know his usage, 13 targets last week. I mean, he's so involved in this offense. Don't have to worry about, is he going to pout and not run or whatever. So I'm going to go Downs over Deonte.
Yeah, and I'd like to just say, Deonte has the higher floor, but does he these days? He really hasn't. And Downs is getting a ton of targets. He's getting more targets than Deonte. So yeah, I think you can easily go Downs this week. And then this one is interesting. Around Betty, if you had to drop either Watson or Terry, who are you dropping?
I'm dropping Watson. Maybe I'll regret it. Maybe somehow Watson's going to come through in the second half of the season, but I don't know. I still have my doubts.
Well, even though it opposes the logical side of my brain, I do feel like at this point I'm going to trust what I said just a couple days ago in the video. Is I think Watson is now time to pick him back up. You don't have to play him, especially this week. But again, the targets are there. The end zone usage is there. They just hadn't connected. If Jordan Love is back to being good, and again, the schedule is so good. It's not just good. It's delicious the rest of the season. It is that good for the Packers passing offense. So, and like you said, when's the last time McLaurin even had a game like Watson had last week, 94 yards and a touchdown? When's the last time Terry even did that?
Week 13 last year.
Week 13 last year. So
he's going to do it this week.
And you can drop Terry because guess what? He doesn't play week 14. So if you're not starting him this week, he's not going to play next week. And the Commanders have a really tough schedule. So I don't know. To me, it's dropping. I would drop McLaurin. And it's risky, of course, but no risk it. No biscuit. I don't even know what that means. AJ Fisk. Team now 4-8. Ouch. Okay, so we're fighting to stay out of last here because there's some sort of punishment that we probably don't want to know about. Most points against. Oh, wow. All right. Sometimes it just goes like that. Wilson or Goff?
I still got to go Goff. I think it could be an okay Wilson week, but there's also the risk that it isn't. So I think I got to go Goff still.
Yeah, go Goff. Trade Henry Goff or Mahomes or Dak?
No, not for. Patrick Mahomes hasn't even been that good in fantasy this year. Dak, sure, he's been phenomenal, but I'm not trading a running back like Derrick Henry and a QB for Goff just to get a QB like Dak. Nah, that's too much. Too much.
No, and Henry should smash this week, so no, I wouldn't do that either. Hopefully stay out of last. Casey Santiago just traded Amon-Ra and Freiermuth for Jettis and Godwin.
Can't. Casey.
I mean, on the surface, this seems good to get Jefferson, but do you even like him over Amon-Ra?
No, that's the thing. Like, okay, sure. If Kirk Cousins was still playing, okay, I could get behind this trade. I could say, hey, you're getting Jefferson. He's going to be a monster rest season. But Kirk Cousins isn't playing. Amon-Ra is a monster. He'll probably be better than Jefferson rest of the season. Okay, you got Freiermuth. That's nice, but and you have McBride. You also have McBride at tight end, so you didn't even need Freiermuth. Sorry,
Well, I think he
KC.
got the Jettis Godwin side because he's saying, well, I already have McBride, so I didn't need Freiermuth.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
But is Godwin a guy you're actively trading for?
Yeah, not really. I mean, I just still would have preferred just to have a Amon-Ra. Just to have a Amon-Ra. I don't know. I would have liked to keep a Amon-Ra.
Yeah, it feels like this isn't unfair, but like you say, who's the best player out of all the four in this deal? I think it's the guy you gave up, but we'll see. If Jefferson is just as good with Josh Dobbs, maybe you don't regret this, but we will see. AV. Best QB to snipe from my opponent. I like this. I like where this is going. He only has Lamar and has to go to the waivers, so we're playing defense here. And I'm petty and must win out. I like it. All right, there's Russ, Love, Baker, Carr, Stafford, Baker.
I mean, probably Baker, but I mean, okay, so then he picks up Love. Okay, yeah. Probably. I mean, like, yeah, it's not like somebody really good is out there. I don't think I would snipe one of these guys. Like, the one you snipe might not even be the right choice. You might force him into playing the better guy, is what I'm saying, right? Because you're like, I'm going to snipe Baker. And then he's like, well, I guess I have to pick up Love. And then Love goes off this week. And you're like, oh, I should have let him get Baker. Like, you know, if there was some really good QB out there, I'd be like, yeah, grab him so he can't. But there's not. I don't know. I don't think I'm doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I like the thought process here, but these guys are kind of all the same. Baker would probably be the one, but I don't think Love is too far behind him. Like you said, it's not really a major difference. So,
right.
Anthony with another put question in the normal chat. Okay, well, let's look for it. Thank you again. I don't see it. Maybe it was back here. All right. Quick back scroll to see where Anthony's question is. Okay. No, that's not a question. That's a comment. Let's put this up though. Humble brag. 4 straight wins, getting to 7-5. Very nice.
Nice.
All right. Here it is. His lineup is Lamar on bye, so he's streaming Purdy. That's good. Del Rice, Ridley, Chase, Waddle, Kyron Swift, Etienne. Drop anyone for Moss.
Logan Thomas, but you need him. Do you have to win this week? I guess if you're 7-5, you gotta win. You gotta win this week. Oh man. I mean, you. Do you play with kickers?
Hopefully not. I think wasn't it him or was it somebody else who was asking, can you drop Kincaid?
No, you can't drop Kincaid because then you're gonna roll with Logan Thomas. No, you can't drop Kincaid. You need Kincaid.
Do you want to drop any of these other guys though?
I mean, if you play with kickers, I would just drop my kicker, pick up Moss. Who plays Monday night this week? I used to do this in my home league sometimes if I didn't have enough room on my bench, but I wanted to grab guys. Who plays on Monday night?
Cincinnati, Jacksonville.
Okay. Is the Jacksonville kicker widely available?
Like maybe. He's kind of like borderline.
Is the Cincinnati kicker going to get dropped now? Didn't he have like a bad game because his offense is terrible now?
Yeah, he could be out there too.
Or even the Sunday night game, Chiefs Packers. Is the Packers kicker available? I'm guessing the Chiefs kicker is him.
Yeah, Packers kicker is probably available.
So like what I used to do is I would drop my kicker, pick up the guy I want, like Moss. And then if it's like getting close to the Sunday night game and I need my kicker points, I'd be like, all right, I guess I'll go try to figure out something. I'll scramble and figure out somebody I can drop and pick up a kicker. Otherwise, I would roll out a kicker if possible. I don't know. It's an option. Maybe, if not, maybe Rice. I don't really want to drop Rice. But, I mean, who else are you dropping here?
Well, it's unfortunate because the two guys that are droppable are the ones you need to start because they're streamers. Like next week, you can drop both Purdy and Thomas and try to pick Rice back up. So, yeah, I think Rice because you only have 3 running backs. All right, let's get to Chris B. 2 slots, pick between Thielen, Wilson, Evans.
Evans and I guess Thielen. I mean, he does have a good matchup this week. But my goodness, I mean, like, is this new staff gonna, like, or whoever the OC that are they like, you know what we need to do rest of the season? We need to force feed our 33-year-old wide receiver.
More than he's already been force fed.
But Garrett Wilson, I mean, you're just banking on a lucky touchdown like last week. So Evans and Thielen, I guess. Evans for sure. Thielen, I guess.
Yeah, Evans, no doubt. Yeah, I think it would have to be Thielen. Has to be Thielen, probably. Clyde Allen, half PPR, who to start? QB, wide receiver, running back, 3 flex spots. T-Law or Kyler?
I'm going T-Law this week. I think we had this one a few times, but I'm going T-Law. I like him at home against the Jags.
And then if we need, assuming 1 running back, White or Mixon?
White. Definitely White.
Yeah. All right. Cup, St. Brown, Collins, Noah Brown. I don't know if he's playing. JSN.
St. Brown. Definitely St. Brown. 3 flex. You gotta go Collins.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in this case you gotta go Cup.
Yeah. And then Mixon, JSN. I don't even know if Noah Brown's playing.
Yeah. Half PPR. Maybe I do go Mixon and just hope he somehow falls into the end zone.
Let's say if Noah Brown is active, just go with him.
Man, do I want both Collins and Noah Brown this week? I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh,
maybe.
I prefer him to Mixon. I mean,
yeah,
he's saying other players than bye. I mean, it happens. Heavy bye week. So
it's a rough bye week for sure. It's unfortunate it comes in week 13 when like so many teams are fighting for the playoffs, and it's like, oh, half my team's on bye this week.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. And then let's see. All right, Perry with that clarification meant to say needs to get Achane off IR, not waivers. So to activate Achane, have 2 quarterbacks on bye. This is annoying. Start Goff needs another. Is it a 2 QB league?
It must be.
Okay, well that changes things. So I have to start Goff needs another QB. Ayuk, Nico Chase, a wide receiver. I only have 1 tight end right now.
Yeah, that's fine. You only need 1 tight end.
But I don't honestly. Do you remember the rest of the roster? The question?
No, I'll have to go back and find it. Let's see.
Okay, I mean, if this is a 2 QB league or even just super flex, yeah, I get it. You cannot drop Fields or Allen, and you do need another quarterback. Okay. Connor Kyron, Monty Warren, who to drop? Do you drop Achane?
Can you take the loss this week? I'm being dead serious. Like, if you already clinched a spot, or you like way ahead, because I mean, you need to pick up a quarterback and make room for Achane. And if it's a 2 QB league, which it sounds like it is, what quarterbacks are even available? Like, are you going to drop somebody just to go stream Jake Browning or Bryce Young or something, is it even worth it? Like, is it even worth it? I'm being dead serious, by the way. I'm being dead serious. Like,
I know you dropped James Conner to pick up Tim Boyle to get negative points for your team. It didn't drop him next week.
Yeah, you pick up Bryce Young, you get 6 points, you lose anyways, and then you're like, oh, that wasn't worth it.
I mean, look, that's a fair point. If it's a 2 QB league, maybe just don't roll with a QB this week.
Yeah. If there's good QBs available, sure. But I mean, it's a 2 QB league. Who's out there? Who's even out there?
Yeah.
Let us know, Perry. You don't have to super chat. Just drop it in the chat. But I mean, I'm serious. I might, because you don't want to harm your team. Like, look, if you're fighting for the playoffs and you have to win this week, okay. You might have to make some tough cuts. There's nothing you can do. But if you're like, hey, I'm sitting here at 9-3, is it worth killing your playoffs just to try to eke out a win this week that you might not even win anyways? You know what I mean? Or is it better just to say, hey, take the L, move on to next week? Because really, once you get into the fantasy playoffs, it's like a whole new season, right? It's like the first 14 weeks gone, erased, whole new season. So let us know in the comments. You don't have to super chat. Just let us know what quarterbacks are available on your waiver wire that you could even stream this week.
Right. So don't drop anyone yet. But did you die? Wants to know. Would you start Zach Moss over Brian Robinson?
I would. This is not a good spot for Brian Robinson against the Dolphins because, again, I think they're not going to really be able to run the ball. They're going to have to throw it a lot. If Gibson was out, I'd probably still really like Brian Robinson, but with Gibson back, kind of hurts his pass catching. We saw that last week, right? He didn't catch a ton of passes again. So give me Zach Moss getting all the touches.
Yeah, I think I need at least like 24 hours to reprocess Zach Moss RB1. But I think it just makes sense. We got to roll with Moss right now. So it's close here between these two. I don't dislike Brian Robinson, but I think we have to acknowledge Moss has more upside. Luis Ortiz. Got Etienne, Achane, Bijan, Hall, Warren, Gibbs, and JT. 2 questions. Would you drop Hall for Moss? Like Ray said, no. Worth it to drop Ferguson for Pat?
Well, here's what I'll say. You have Jake Ferguson, Pat Freiermuth is on waiver wire, and you have Kincaid, and it's standard scoring. Do you really need 2 tight ends? I mean, if Pat Freiermuth is on waiver wire, you got Ferguson, you got Kincaid, like, why not drop one of those tight ends for Moss?
Yeah, well, that's true. You really don't need. I mean, this week, of course, you can't roll with Kincaid, but.
Oh, that's true.
Man,
it's true. So this is not the week to drop your second tight end. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the annoying thing.
I mean, you don't want to put Brees. You don't want to just gift somebody Brees Hall again. Like I'm saying, like you don't want to just give somebody like, hey, here's Brees Hall, and then Brees Hall somehow gets it going down the stretch, and you're like, what have I done? I just gifted somebody Brees Hall.
I'm thinking. I wonder because it is standard. Not a big difference between these tight ends. Is there in standard? Do you, in this case, drop Ferg for Freiermuth and then drop Kincaid for Moss, and then you just roll with Freiermuth the rest of the season?
Yeah, maybe. I don't even know if I prefer Freiermuth to Ferguson in standard. Do you?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. All in non-PPR, to me, these 3 guys are like almost interchangeable.
I feel like Ferguson has the most touchdown upside, though. Maybe Kincaid too, but like Freiermuth, what's the touchdown upside? Like, I mean, sure, he had 120 yards last week, but are we expecting that again? Like, what's the touchdown upside? But I would rather just like roll with one of these tight ends and pick up Moss for one of the tight ends. Because again, like if I give somebody Kincaid in a standard scoring league, oh well, whatever.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's not like a huge loss in standard.
Yeah. If I give somebody Breece Hall and he gets it going somehow, and he's ripping off long runs every week and scoring touchdowns, I'm going to really be kicking myself, especially if I play against Breece Hall in the fantasy playoffs and lose.
Yeah, I think, no, I'm not dropping the other running back. So I think because this week you can't play Kincaid anyways, and Freiermuth gets Arizona, I might drop Ferg for Pat, start Pat, drop Kincaid for Moss, and then next week, if you want, drop Freiermuth for Kincaid again. All right. Rusty Shackelford. Speaking of Ferguson, is it worth holding on to him in Higgins? All these guys are on waivers. I think pick up Goddard over Ferguson, right?
Yeah, I mean, Ferguson's your only tight end right now. I probably don't pick up Goddard. But if you have another tight end, yeah, you can drop Ferguson. But if you have another tight end, I don't even know if I'm picking up Goddard. But I certainly am dropping Higgins. There's no reason to hold Higgins. I mean, Jake Browning can barely support Jamar Chase. Is he going to support T. Higgins? Probably not. It's a lost season for Higgins. It just is. So, yeah, I mean, man, get Downs, get Watson, I guess. Drop them both. If you don't need them, like if you've got a better tight end than Ferguson, you can drop them both.
Yeah, so who do you like out of those waiver options? I'm guessing not Pierce.
Downs and Watson would be
Downs,
my picks.
Watson.
I think yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, Perry just made it tough because somehow in a 2 QB league, Gardner Minshew's on waiver wire, and Gardner Minshew might actually have a nice game this week.
Yeah, but it still stands to reason that if you don't need to win this week, it's not worth dropping one of those running backs.
Yeah, if you don't need to win this week, if you're like locked into the playoffs already, unless maybe you're fighting for the bye, like if you're fighting for that bye week, I'd probably just take the L.
Yeah. All right, Michael Cazares with another one. Defense. Got a lot of choices here. Chargers, Bucks, Rams, Jags, or the Falcons. Falcons do play Tim Boyle and the Jets.
I know.
Chargers get Mac Jones / Bailey Zappi.
I know, but they're the Chargers. No Joey Bosa. Bucks definitely are interesting against the Panthers. Rams, because who knows who they're going to get. Who knows who they're going to even play. Yeah. Jags get Jake Browning at home. Falcons get Tim Boyle. I mean, these are all good choices. There's a lot of good streaming options this week. This is a good week to be streaming defenses for sure.
Right.
But I mean, I was saying Jags over Falcons just because they're at home. But I mean, I think it's got to be the Falcons, right? You got to just stream against Tim Boyle and the Jets, don't you?
Yes, you do. Hey, Falcons had a pick 6 last week. Their defense has been solid, not spectacular, but against the Jets, it doesn't matter. Just go with the team playing against the Jets. Pat Mack is in a 2 QB league. It's half PPR. Got Love, Geno, Evans, Tyreek, and clarified it's CMC, not MCM. Right. Moss, Ferguson, Mostert, Downs, and San Francisco. A few questions. Okay, would you go Pickett over Geno this week?
I might. He at least feels safer. I don't know if either guy has a lot of upside, but at least Pickett shouldn't kill you this week, so I might.
I think so. I mean, at home against the Cardinals defense versus on the road Dallas, I'm going to go Pickett. Reed instead of Downs.
I like Downs a little more than Reed this week. I mean, he's the clear number 2 here. Again, 13 targets last week. I'm going to go Downs over Reed.
Yeah, go Downs over Reed. And then Muth or Ferguson?
Yeah, you probably got to go Muth this week.
Go the Pickett Muth stack.
There you go.
Path to gold.
Oh, man. What could go wrong?
In week 13, Austin J, Tua, Murray, or Fields?
Well, we know your answer, but it's also my answer. It's Tua.
It's definitely not Fields this week. It's got to be Tua. And then Nico or Reed?
Man, can I really go Reed over Nico? I'm just really not feeling a good Nico week. I know it's hard to bench Nico. He's been mostly good. He just had a huge game. He's going to get a lot of Pat Surtain, though. But it's not really a great spot for Reed either against the Chiefs. I don't know. I probably still got to go Nico, but man, I'm not feeling good about it.
Yeah, no, you can't assume it's a great Nico week, but I agree you still have to go Nico because I don't feel it's necessarily a great Reed week. Not a smash spot for him. So Nico could still make some big plays because he could score a touchdown. So I'm going to go Nico. And then David Uffner, forgot to mention, has James Cook too, but more importantly, go Fins. There you go. David, we're going to have to rewind to get to yours. You can find his super chat. So he's saying he has James Cook also.
I'm not sure it matters because James Cook's on bye this week, but I don't remember what his question is. So it must matter if he said that. Here was his question. Oh, it's for rating. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that really matters. Monty, CMC, Brace, James Cook's maybe better than Brees, but maybe not. So I don't think that really matters.
It's nice that you have a little more running back depth.
Right.
It doesn't change the score or anything like that, but at least it's good to know that you do have. You have pretty good running back depth. Obviously, CMC and Monty, and then Brees and Warren. Yeah, so you're good. You got a good team. Alan Scott got the super sticker. Thank you, Alan. Let's see. Where's the question? Here it is. 10-man, half PPR at 7-5. So he said he's got this week all figured out, but rest of the season, saying Rashee Rice is still on waivers. It's a 10-man league, so it's understandable. Would you drop Cooper?
Yeah.
Yes, probably.
You can drop Cooper at this point. It's sad because it was looking like it was going to be such a good Cooper year, and then the wheels fell off with the Deshaun Watson injury, and yeah, just drop Cooper.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows with the Browns? We don't even know who the quarterback is going to be this week, and the point is that it shouldn't really matter at this point because anybody besides Watson that's been there, Cooper has not been good. So
yeah.
All right, Rico guy, aka Phil, just when he thought he was out, he pulled me back in. One team needs a flex, needs a win, and a loss from another to clinch. He wants HN for Kincaid and Watson.
The Christian Watson, I assume. Hopefully not Deshaun Watson. I don't know. Maybe if you're desperate at tight end, but I think I'd still prefer HN. He's got upside, and I know we say Watson has upside, but I still have my doubts.
Oh, look, it's totally understandable to have doubts because he's been terrible most of the season, even when he did play and he was hurt again. But can't say that HN doesn't have risk. We don't even know if HN is playing this week.
Yeah, I assume
it really depends.
Yeah, it depends on are you desperate at tight end? Is your tight end, you're rolling out Logan Thomas every week or something like that? Then sure. Maybe take it just to get the tight end upgrade. But if you don't need a tight end, I think I just hold HM.
Right. I was going to say it just depends what is Kincaid to you. It's like set and forget starter that you need or like a backup tight end. So I don't mind it. I think this is it's risky on both sides. I don't mind taking a chance on two young players and Kincaid and Watson over the young running back who, let's face it, we don't know what we're going to get from. So this could go either way. I hate to say. Omni Gaming, would you trade Pollard and Thielen for Keenan Allen?
Give me Keenan Allen all day. All day. Crusty Keenan Allen somehow still chugging along being elite.
Keenan Allen is, what did they say the other day? He's like the career leader in like receptions per game or something like that. Something insane.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah. And the thing you gotta like about Keenan Allen, at least for fantasy, is they have nobody else to throw to. Oh, yeah. Every pass has to go to Keenan Allen. It's hurting the offense because the defense is like, oh, okay, we just stopped Keenan Allen and they're done. but it's good for Keenan Allen in fantasy.
Yeah, definitely taking Keenan Allen here if this is the deal. Definitely. All right, Amy wants to clarify. She's saying just to keep one rest of season. This is a rest of season question.
Keep one?
Pick one you would keep. Just one.
Man. I mean, I can definitely eliminate Brandon Cooks then. I can probably eliminate Rashawn Johnson. Even if he takes over in this backfield, what is that really worth? Deonte feels like the smart choice, but I don't even know. Mitchell feels like the swing for the fences choice. You can only keep one of these? Only one?
Yeah, like it's got to be either Deontay or Downs.
I mean, it should probably be Deonte, but I might go Downs. I don't know. Sadly, I feel better about the the Colts passing game than the Steelers passing game. I don't know, but it should. I guess Downs. I don't know. This is hurting my head because it should be Deonte, right? It should be Deonte.
It should be Deontay, but I know I could see it being Downs. Maybe Downs is getting more targets if JT's out. I don't know. He's getting more targets anyways. Let's call it Downs. Let's go Downs and call it a day.
Let's go Downs. Ask us again next week. It might be Deonte.
Right. And what is up, Ali? How you
been? What's up, Ali? One more win for the playoffs. There you go. Because I know you were like, terrible start to the season. Let's go.
Yeah, finally see, as soon as Dalvin Cook got cut, that was all it took. Then the team went on a roll. My tight end is Schultz. Okay, go all in for Moss.
Yes.
Should I also get Freiermuth or Taysom?
Freiermuth. Taysom might be better this week. What's that?
No, so you're saying he needs to drop 2. You can definitely drop QJ. You can drop Spears too.
Yeah, I think you can drop Gus, but yeah, you can drop any of these guys, honestly. But yeah, go all in for Moss. Get Freiermuth because look, Taysom might be great this week, but Freiermuth is going to give you more rest of the season.
Definitely. And I will say this, I don't want to try to worry you about Schultz. You're getting these tight ends anyways. If you get Freiermuth, start Freiermuth this week regardless. But Schultz did see, interestingly, his snap count and his route participation drop last week, and there was another tight end getting on the field a little bit more. I don't know if this is a fluke. I don't know what the reason was. Got to dig into it a little bit more. But, yeah, I'm definitely going to do these moves. So, let's get it. Let's get that playoff spot. Well, what's up, Jay Swole? Chase, DK, Deonte.
Maybe here I go Chase.
Can't feel good about DK.
No. I mean, again, it should be Deonte. It's the Cardinals. The offense actually looked like a real NFL offense. We should be all excited about Deonte right now. And I'm not.
It's hard to get excited about Chase these days, too.
I know, but at least Chase has that ability to take a slant and run for a touchdown. So I guess Chase.
Right. Yeah, I think in this case I'm going to go Chase for the ceiling. And then Cerulean Dog, Muther and Joku.
I guess Muth. I don't know. I'm.
You're hesitant. You're definitely not ready to go all in on the Steelers offense.
I am feeling like it's going to be a Muth big letdown week, and I still do like Njoku, but you probably got to go Muth.
So he's asking this week and rest of the season. This week I'm definitely going Muth. What about rest of the season?
I might still go Njoku. I mean, Njoku has an insane playoff schedule for tight ends. It's like nothing but great matchups. Let me see. He goes Rams this week, which is fantastic. Jags next week. Okay, whatever. But then he gets Bears, Texans, then the Jets. And you think, oh, the Jets. But the Jets have not been very good against tight ends. I don't know. It's close. It's close. Maybe Muth because at least he has Pickett, which can't believe I just said at least he has Pickett. Like, what does that even mean? What am I even saying over here right now? What am I even saying?
No, now you have to really wonder if you're dreaming. Yeah,
Right.
since when has Kenny Pickett been like a positive? But look, honestly, who is the quarterback for Cleveland right now? Who's the quarterback for Cleveland rest of the season? I don't know.
Exactly.
I just go with Muth because we know he's going to be involved in this offense. So I don't think it's a big gap, but I think I go Muth. Let's help X2 highlights because he says that the trade deadline is tonight. So a couple trade questions here. Kyren and Taysom. Wait, what? That doesn't make sense. How about this one? If you want to redo that one. X2 highlights. Trade deadline tonight. Should I trade Mike Evans for Pittman?
This feels like Spider-Man meme. Like, this is doing nothing for me. Like, well, what's the difference here? Really, what's the difference? Maybe I feel slightly better about Pittman. Maybe, but I mean, very close here. Wide receiver for wide receiver, same guy. I mean, they're not really the same guy, but as far as like fantasy points go, kind of feel like they're the same guy.
Very similar. I know. I actually was going to say I feel slightly better about Evans because he has more.
There you go. It shows you how much
big games. Yeah, but like, is this helping your team? Like, how is this helping your team?
Right.
Now, if you're going to trade Kyren Williams and Taysom Hill to get Kyren Williams, that's not helping your team. But I don't know. Maybe you can rephrase that trade. We'd like to help you, but that one. The Kraken has Ingram. Is Muth worth an ad?
I'd probably just roll with Ingram. I'm not sure Muth will be significantly better than Ingram rest of the season. I mean, if you want to add him, maybe you could play matchups or whatever. Look, it's always good to have this time of year, especially. It's always good to have insurance, right? Like, if Ingram goes down, at least you have Muth. So yeah, it's worth adding them if you have the spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine to add, but you don't need him. I think Ingram is fine, and I am actually going to be irrationally high on Evan Ingram this week. So just a little preview there. Little Boy Blue, trade Fields for McBride if you already have two good quarterbacks. Why not?
I get it. I mean, I assume you need tight end like really badly if you're doing this. I don't know. I feel like you could get more than just like Trey McBride.
He says his other tight ends are Kincaid and Likely.
Oh, then no. Like, why do you have all these tight ends? I mean, I guess you need a tight end this week because both your tight ends or something. You have two tight ends and they're both on bye the same week.
Right.
What are you gonna do with three tight ends?
Like, you might as well just drop Likely.
But you also
why
have
three quarterbacks is the question.
Yeah, what are you doing with three quarterbacks? I mean, I guess, like, I don't know. I feel like you're not getting enough for Fields, though. That's what I feel like.
Well, okay, look, I'm fine doing it if you get McBride and get something else, like a running back, a stash, handcuff.
Yeah, don't get a quarterback or a tight end back. Get like a running back or a wide receiver.
No, we have enough. We're reached our quota. What about Chris Laborde? Well, all right, let's get to that. What was his prediction? Rashawn Johnson was going to do something crazy.
Was it Rashawn Johnson?
I feel like it was Rashawn Johnson.
And then Keaton Mitchell, 10 plus carries. He didn't quite get there. He got to 9. But yeah, he's coming on. We'll see.
Yeah, Keaton Mitchell is coming on. I have to acknowledge, getting some touches. So keep dropping the hot takes. We're here for it.
Yes.
Then, okay, here we go. This makes more sense, but also it is an interesting offer. All right, X2 highlights. Should I trade Saquon and Taysom Hill for Kyren? It's an 8-man league.
I mean, if you're fighting for the playoffs and you have to win this week, why not? Saquon does have a brutal playoff schedule, and he also is on the Giants. I mean, why not? If you need to win this week and Saquon's not going to help you win this week because he's going to get you a 0, why not? Why not?
I mean, it kind of just comes down to who you like better, Saquon or Kyron, right? Because Taysom Hill's not the difference maker in this deal.
I mean, I still prefer Saquon, but I will say, like, you look at the Giants. I think the Rams also have a tough schedule too, though. But at least Kyron's playing this week. But he gets the Packers next week. That's great. But then he gets Saints, Eagles, Rams to finish.
Right. But yeah, you're fighting for the playoffs. Saquon's on bye. Do it.
Actually, I take it back. Kyron gets the Commanders week 15, then the Saints. That's tough, and then the Giants. Never mind. Kyron has a good playoff schedule.
All right, there you go. So the Kyron one, take it. Evans for Pittman. I don't think it matters. And then Omni Crypt, 10-team PPR, Dak, CMC, Dre, Allen, Tank, Nico, 6-6. Playoffs.
I mean, you got the team that can get there for sure. I'm assuming that Ardre is Ramondre, I guess.
I think so.
I mean, Dak, you got CMC, you got Keenan Allen, Ramondre's been coming on. Between Tank and Nico, one of those guys pop off pretty much every week. Yeah, I like your chances.
Yeah, you've got the RB1. You've got a guy who's been the best quarterback in the last few weeks. Got one of the top 3 receivers. Yeah, I think you definitely should be a playoff team. Playoffs. All right, Mr. J School. Thank you for your time. Question below. All right, 8-2, second place, 10 team. The West has you got East and West. You got divisions here. 4-way tie with 7-5. All Monty Sun God, Tank, Laporta, Waddle at the flex. Bijan, no. Brian Robinson, Puka, Watson, Hunt. I have Kyler Murray and Tua. Pick up a waiver QB. Why would you need a QB?
Yeah, no, play Tua this week. Monty Sun God, Tank. I mean, yeah, I don't think I'm changing. Well, are we going Brian Robinson over Breece Hall?
I can't love Breece. I mean,
I don't know. I'm not really feeling Brian Robinson this week, but how can you ever feel Breece Hall right now?
Yeah, that one.
That's the only one. That's the only decision for me.
B-Rob has the higher floor. Like, we know this. And we have to say he has more touchdown upside because he's actually been scoring touchdowns. But Hall could do better. It's close. Falcons.
My only worry with Brian Robinson is if this game just gets out of hand.
Yeah.
And he's just not touching the ball. Because we've seen that before, right? We've seen games this year where, like even last week, right? We saw last week where, what did he have last week? Where, the game got out of hand. He did have 15 carries, but he only caught 2 passes. That's the other thing. Like with Antonio Gibson in there, if the game gets out of hand, it's like they use Gibson more.
Right.
That's my only worry with Brian Robinson is if the game just gets out of hand, which it probably will.
Yeah. I don't feel strongly about Brian Robinson. I think you can keep it the way it is. But definitely start Tua.
Oh, yeah. Definitely Tua.
Python just slide in and say what's up.
What's up?
Jay Swole with another. My heroes up.
Okay.
Too kind. Way too kind. 8-4. Drop the Browns and stream from week to week.
I mean, it depends who you're picking up, but look, like if the Falcons are out there or something like that, yeah, I'll drop the Browns.
If I remember, besides Cleveland being really good, don't they have a great schedule down the stretch also? I feel like they're like a team where just set and forget.
Yeah, they get the Bears week 15, the Texans week 16, and the Jets week 17, which that's nice.
Yeah. Bears and Jets coming up. Those are both good. At Houston, not so great, but
and like
definitely will want them around.
They haven't been. What's weird is they haven't been great all the time on the road. Like, they only got 7 against Pittsburgh on the road. They did have a nice game against Indy on the road, but they only got 5 against Seattle on the road, 3 against Denver on the road. Also,
Yeah.
Myles Garrett. Have we heard anything about Myles Garrett? I know he didn't play a lot towards the end of that game with some kind of shoulder injury.
Practice. Well, that was last week. Nah, don't know anything about this week. Well, I'll just say this: you probably don't want to start him at Houston, but you definitely want to start him against the Jets if you make it to championship week 17. Yeah. I don't know if there's a way to stash, but anyways, let's go to Drake London or Chase.
Gotta be Chase this week. Drake London on the road against the Jets and Sauce. No, thank you. I'll just take whatever Chase gives me.
Yes. And then Omni Gaming, Thielen or Rashee Rice?
I'm starting Rashee Rice. I can't do it with Thielen. I know it's a good matchup, but you know what last week was? A good matchup, and he had 1 catch. Like, maybe they start featuring him again. Maybe, like, yeah, I don't want to put a Panther in my lineup. Just give me Rashee Rice. He's got Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy to just go Rice here. Let's see. I see a couple of individual chats from John, but I don't see any questions or comments. So John, if you do have a question, we'll gladly answer it. If not, then that's fine too. All right, we are finally caught up to all the super chats. We'll do a few more of your regular questions here in a second. It's down for a few more minutes before we get to the final questions here, which, by the way, we'll be back tomorrow. So if you've been on, you didn't get to ask your question, or been waiting for it to be answered, whatever the case is, we'll be back tomorrow. More start sit advice, waiver advice, reactions, all of that, all the good stuff. Help you win. God, a lot of you must win for week 13. So before we do that, final reminder, Underdog. You sign up now. Use promo code ENDGAME. You get that 100% deposit match up to $100, dollar for dollar. They'll match what you put in when you sign up for a new account, and you get the new customer special of Dak Prescott. Go higher than 0.5 total yards. You'll win that pick. You make one other good pick, you triple your money just like that. So check it out now. Just click the link down below, or you can download the app. And then just make sure you use that promo code to get those specials. All right, let's do Julio again. Run CMC. Lost Mark Andrews. Does have Njoku. Would you consider Freiermuth, Ott, Higbee, or likely rest of the season?
Yeah, not those other guys, but I would definitely pick up Freiermuth because, again, like, A, have tight end insurance, but B, maybe he'll be better than Njoku. We don't know who's going to be the quarterback now for Njoku, so I would still pick up Freiermuth, not those other guys. Those other guys, I would just roll with Njoku.
Yeah, it's either Muth or Njoku. So, and if I thought I remember, you said you're kind of locked the rest of the season, or you said like you don't have a high waiver claim, but I don't know. I think Muth. I like Muth a little bit over Njoku rest of the season. All right, Christopher Laborde. Yes, John, I do see your comment, but your question is just, did it work? So yes, it did work. So try it again, but with your whatever you want to say. All right, Chris is 5-7. Had to have 3 people lose, and it happened. Now you control your own destiny? Okay.
5-7 is controlling your own destiny. Nice.
All right, well, let's see here. T-Law or Howell?
I think you got to go T-Law. I mean, I do like Howell this week. I think Howell could outscore T-Law, but Howell could also kill you. That's the thing, right? Like, just because they're playing from behind doesn't mean Howell's going to have a great game. Like, he didn't have a great game last week playing from behind. So I think T-Law at home against the Jaguars, he's been great 2 weeks in a row. Really impressed by how good he looked last week in Houston. That really impressed me. So I think T-Law is just way, way safer than Howell, and he has a good ceiling this week. So I'm going T-Law.
Yeah, I mean, I like Howell as a streamer, but I've been saying I think Lawrence now has kind of solidified what he has always kind of just been, is a low-end QB1. you don't have that risk because Hal could put up big numbers or he could not. So if you don't want to take that chance, you have your own destiny in your hands. I don't know if you want to leave your destiny in the hands of Sam Howell. That's my thing. So sure, he does have a higher ceiling, I think, but Trevor Lawrence is still in a good spot.
Right.
Wolfman been waiting patiently. He's always watching us. Trade offer: getting Walker and Puka for Monty. This is his team. Is that enough?
I mean, I want to say yes, it should be enough, but we don't know when Walker's coming back, and we don't know what we're getting from Puka and the Rams rest of the season. And if you trade away Monty, you got Etienne, Brees, and then again, we don't know when Walker's coming back. Like it should be enough. It should be a yes. It should be like, oh, Walker and Puka for Monty. Yeah, take it because a healthy. Is there really a big difference between a healthy Walker and a healthy Monty? Probably not. And then you're getting Puka thrown in. We don't know when Walker's going to be back, but I don't know. I still might take it because I think we see Walker before the fantasy playoffs, right? Like maybe next week, maybe the start of the fantasy playoffs, something like that. So I might take it still.
Yeah, I think this week he's not going to play this week. Next week he might come back, and if he doesn't, probably the week after, I would think. So I feel like it's enough. I mean, look, you're taking a chance here, but it's not like Monty is the guy who you really need to carry your team. You know what I mean? Because people are like, well, Charbonnet is going to still split touches with Walker when he comes back. Yeah, Monty's already splitting touches with Jahmyr Gibbs. So, yeah, I think it feels like it's enough. Omni Gaming with another one for rest of season. Better stream for Fields. So you're looking for a quarterback because Fields is on bye. And rest of season? I don't know.
Well, I think he's asking rest of season CJ Stroud or Fields.
Oh, CJ or Fields. I see. Better stream? Well,
I mean, I feel like it should be Fields, but man, after last night, what a letdown for Fields last night. Jeez. Can't even throw a single touchdown against the Vikings. 2 fumbles. But he runs. I don't know. I want to say Fields. It should be Fields. He runs. Like, how many rushing yards did he have last night? Like 60 yards, 70 yards, something? Like, man. I guess Stroud. I don't know. I want to say Fields really badly.
I don't know. I'm fine just starting CJ Stroud and knowing that I have a solid quarterback rest of the season. So it's well, I guess I was confused at a better stream. I mean, you got both these guys. Yeah, I guess you're just playing weekly, whatever. Just go CJ Stroud until you have a compelling reason not to. That's what I would do. Let's see. A couple more. AG Easy. Is Aaron Jones worth an ad?
No. I mean,
already loaded.
Am I worried about somebody else getting Aaron Jones? Probably not. No, I don't think so. I mean, if you got space to burn, sure, why not? But
yeah, if you're loaded, then like, what does it matter? He's just going to chill on your bench. I wouldn't worry about it. All right, so Parker Douglas got Josh Allen by asking for some quarterback options here. Depends who's available. Who are your favorite? Let's go top 3, I guess.
Top 3 that are potentially actually available, I would say would be Brock Purdy, Sam Howell, probably Baker Mayfield. The guys that are actually potentially on your waiver wire.
Yeah, it depends on the league. I was surprised too. I always look, and at least in Yahoo, Brock Purdy is like 89% owned or something. I was like, what? Like, I don't know why. But in Sleeper, I feel like it's less, which is weird because usually in Sleeper, guys are more owned. But don't know. Anyways, yeah, like Hal, risky but upside. Jordan Love and Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. Yeah, if Purdy's that, I didn't realize Purdy was that high rostered, then yeah, Jordan Love would be my other one. Yeah.
But I mean, if he is out there, that would also be the top option. And then JV too much. Keenan or JJ? No, this is a trade question. Or
You gotta go Keenan Allen over JJ. I mean, he's been awesome. He's got Justin Herbert. You don't have to risk it with Josh Dobbs or Nick Mullins or whoever we see out of the bye. It's got to be Keenan Allen. Not to mention Keenan Allen's already had his bye, so you don't have to worry about that either. So Keenan Allen, for sure.
Yeah, I think you got to go with Keenan Allen. Just seems to be no risk there. All right, Parker's saying that these are the only guys available. It's either Goff, Love, or Stafford.
Well, I would put Goff above those guys.
Yeah,
I just didn't think Goff would be available. But if Goff's available, I still put him above those guys.
Yeah, never know who is and who isn't available in certain leagues. So, yeah, in that case, just go Goff. All right, let's do one more. 1-1-1. Let's do. I'm trying to pick one that we have not talked about yet. We can't end on a defense question.
No.
Wait, I think I saw a trade question. All right. Well, this is an interesting. End with JT. Unexpected. CA8198. What's up? Would you trade, knowing he's going to miss 2 to 3 weeks,
or more,
Jonathan Taylor for Breece Hall?
Oh, man. Like, what if he only misses 2 weeks? You're going to really regret this trade, probably. Because it's a thumb, right? It's a thumb. It's not like a knee or an ankle where it's like, well, is he going to come back and be limited because he can't run or whatever? No, it's a thumb. Like, right? It's probably like, okay, you have surgery on the thumb, and then, you know, maybe the only issue is gripping the football, maybe, but you're running fine, right? He's going to run fine, you got to think. So, but if he ends up going on IR, you're going to be going like, whew, thank goodness I got rid of JT. But I don't know. Breece just not doing it for me. Like, what?
Right.
I'm keeping JT. I'm gambling on him being back in a couple weeks or 3 weeks. I'm keeping JT.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's not worth it unless you're one of these teams like, I'm 6-6. I have to win this week. Okay, then you need Breece Hall because you have nobody else. Fine, but otherwise, I'd rather just wait on JT too. And I like to wait on John. John, look, that worked. I don't think any other of your comments have gone through. Good point. Maybe putting too many characters in. Try a shorter message. Just do a regular chat. Just put a short message and see if that works. We'll hang on just for a minute to see if you get yours through, because I know you've been waiting. I guess in the meantime, we'll do one more. Yuri, Jaden Reed, Dylan, or Cooks at the flex?
I'm going Jaden Reed. Dylan, nah. Brandon Cooks, liked him last week, not so much this week.
Yeah, look, Dylan gonna get all the touches here with Aaron Jones. It has not mattered. Hasn't mattered. He's had the job to himself for a couple of weeks and did nothing. He seems to look worse when he gets all the touches, right? When Aaron Jones is out, he's like, all right, now I'll show them by averaging 2 yards a carry. Like, yeah, I just go Jaden Reed here, unless you're getting yourself some sure points.
What's going on with John here? I see it says work with a question mark, but
yeah, I don't know. Don't know. Let's see. Let's do another one. Adi Desai. Who would you start in PPR? 1 receiver, 2 running back, 1 flex. DK or Sutton?
Sutton. Go on Sutton.
Yeah.
He's been good. Give me Sutton.
Yeah, Sutton this week. Kyron White, Ford, Chuba, Swift.
Kyron and White.
Yeah, easily Kyron White, and then what? Flex Swift.
Flex and Swift. Yep.
Yeah, pretty easy there. All right. Brian, John will give you about 30 more seconds. Brian, thoughts on Nico and Dynasty?
I mean, you got to feel pretty good about Nico. He's young. He's a good, talented player. He was coming on last year in year 2 before that injury, even with terrible QB play. Now he has CJ Stroud. Like, he's not like a top 20 Dynasty wide receiver for me or anything, but you got to feel pretty good about him in Dynasty.
I regret trading him to Stinger before this season because Ed's one of Stinger's guys. He likes Nico. And I had Nico in a few leagues, actually, so I did trade him away. Can't win them all. I don't think you can put him over Tank because of the age, but still looking pretty solid.
Well,
pretty solid.
Here's a fun fact. Let me verify this, but I think Tank and Nico might be the same age.
No way.
Yeah. So Tank is 24, just over 24 years old, and Nico is 24.1 versus 24.7. They're basically the same age because Tank is very late.
I was going to say, he's an old rookie. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't forget what I said.
But I think you still have to prefer Tank just because he's kind of been better mostly than Nico. But you still got to feel good about Nico. I mean, look at we got that. We got that, John, but we need the actual question. Where's the actual question? How come only those work? Instead of typing get it question mark, type your question mark.
Right.
But make it really short.
Right. That. All right. While we hang on for 10 more seconds, friendly reminder, yes, like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell so that way when we go live, which is pretty much every day, you guys know and you can join us, hang out with us, ask some questions. All right. We got it. All right, John, here we go. Roster is Herbert, Hall, Etienne, Stefan, AJB, Schultz, Keenan, and Olave. At least it was good. It was worth the wait. Terry, Ramondre, Flowers. Any trades?
Let's see. Stephon Diggs, AJ Brown, Keenan, Olave. This might be a good time to sell high on Flowers. Coming off a nice game, rookie fever. Like, you've got Stephon Diggs, AJ Brown, Keenan Allen, Chris Olave. Are you ever really playing Zay Flowers when those guys, once the buys are over and those guys are healthy?
Right.
Probably not. So this might be a good time to try to trade Zay Flowers. I mean, you got Ramondre, you got Breece Hall, you got Etienne, but I mean, if you could maybe package like Flowers and Breece Hall and get another running back, I think I would do that. Or maybe even, I mean, you got Schultz, but yeah, Flowers is the one that jumps out to me as like a potential sell high right now.
And I would say this week I'd start Ramondre over Breece. Maybe rest of the season too. So if you can swing a trade like you mentioned, there you go. Solves that problem. You got good stud receivers. So they can carry this team, and you got a legit RB1. So yeah, I don't think you need to do anything here. But if you're going to do that, then yeah, maybe trying to sell high and say, all right, well, we're going to wrap it up now. What is up, NBA Crypto Boy? 8-0 on a run. That's what we like to see.
There you go.
And also another 8-4 team. Blair, thank you. Appreciate you.
And happy birthday, Pierre. Everybody say happy birthday to Pierre.
Oh, thanks, y'all. Too nice. Juice, you redeemed yourself here. Day over 30. I'll take that. All right. I don't feel a day over 30 either. Sometimes when I say
I was going to say, I was like, good for you.
Yeah, sometimes. All right, guys. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Don't forget to check out the videos and the live shows every night, but especially tomorrow. If you buy that poster, I will put it back here. I promise you.
There we go. Do it. Do it.
You'll have Jalen Hurts and Barry Sanders. I'll have Trey Sermon.
Nice.
All right, guys. That's it. We'll see you next time tomorrow.